What if the greatest secret of the Great Pyramid isn't buried beneath its stones, but hidden in plain sight on the back of every dollar bill in your wallet? Imagine this: a shadowy network of elite figures, descendants of ancient orders, like the Freemasons and the Illuminati, gathering in secret chambers, their rituals echoing through time, all centered on the pyramid's unfinished capstone and that all-seeing eye, not as symbols of enlightenment, but as keys to a forbidden power that could reshape the world. And what if they've suppressed discoveries at Giza for centuries, halting excavations, silencing scientists, and erasing evidence of massive voids detected by cutting-edge muon tomography, voids that might hold technologies capable of harnessing Earth's energy grid? Could these hidden masters be guarding not just history, but a global conspiracy where the pyramids serve as nodes in an invisible ley line network, channeling forces that could unlock unlimited energy or even control minds? The questions multiply like shadows in the desert night. Who are they really protecting this from? You, me, or something far more ancient and otherworldly? Hold that thought, because the truth might be darker than the void itself. Picture a scene unfolding in the dead of night beneath the Giza plateau, where a team of archaeologists, armed with muon detectors, devices that use cosmic rays to peer through solid stone like an X-ray for the gods, stumble upon something impossible. It's 2017, and the Scan Pyramids Project, a collaboration of international scientists, announces the discovery of a big void inside the Great Pyramid, a chamber at least 30 meters long, hovering above the Grand Gallery. The world buzzes with excitement. Could this be the long-rumored Hall of Records, a repository of lost knowledge from a civilization predating the pharaohs? But then, silence. Excavations stall. Permits are revoked. The Egyptian authorities, through the Supreme Council of Antiquities, downplay it as a mere architectural anomaly, nothing worth probing further. Fast forward to 2023, and another revelation, a 9-meter corridor near the north face, confirmed by those same muon scans, its shape precise, its purpose unknown. Again, the gates slam shut. No drills, no cameras, no further exploration. Why? Because, whisper the conspiracy theorists, these voids aren't empty, they're filled with secrets that could upend global power structures, secrets tied to a cabal that traces its roots back to the very builders of Giza. Let's peel back the layers, starting with the symbol that stares back at you from the US $1 bill, the Eye of Providence, an all-seeing eye atop an unfinished pyramid. Officially, it's the Great Seal of the United States, adopted in 1782, representing divine favor and the strength of the new nation. But dig deeper, and the threads lead straight to the Freemasons. Many of America's founding fathers, George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, were Freemasons, and the society's rituals are steeped in Egyptian symbolism, pyramids, obelisks, the eye as a mark of the grand architect of the universe. Conspiracy lore claims the pyramid on the dollar isn't just decorative, it's a coded message from the Illuminati, a secret society founded in 1776 by Adam Weishaupt in Bavaria, allegedly infiltrating Freemasonry to orchestrate a new world order. The Illuminati, though disbanded in the 1782nd, are said to live on through high-level Masons, pulling strings in governments, banks, and corporations. And Giza? It's their ultimate symbol, a blueprint for control, where the pyramid represents hierarchy elites at the top, masses at the base, and the eye oversees all. But why Giza specifically? Theorists point to the site's alignment with ley lines, those invisible energy pathways crisscrossing the globe, connecting ancient monuments like Stonehenge, Machu Picchu, and the Nazca lines. First proposed by Alfred Watkins in 1921 as straight tracks linking prehistoric sites, ley lines evolved in New Age, and conspiracy circles into conduits of Earth's electromagnetic energy, a natural grid that ancient civilizations tapped for power. The Great Pyramid sits at the intersection of major ley lines, its position allegedly at the center of Earth's landmass, equidistant from key points like the Bermuda Triangle and Mount Kailash. Nikola Tesla, the enigmatic inventor obsessed with pyramids, believed they were giant transmitters, harnessing telluric currents, Earth's natural electricity, for wireless energy. In his Colorado Springs experiments, Tesla claimed to send power wirelessly, echoing theories that the pyramids once formed a global network, powering lost technologies. Conspiracy buffs tie this to the Illuminati. What if modern elites, through Freemasonic lodges, suppress this free energy to maintain control via oil and electricity monopolies? Imagine if the voids detected by muons contain quartz crystals or conductive alloys, remnants of this ancient grid, artifacts that could revolutionize energy but threaten trillion-dollar industries. The suppression runs deep. In 2016, the Scan Pyramids team deployed muon tomography, a technique using subatomic particles from space to map densities inside structures without invasive digging. Muons, heavier cousins of electrons, rain down constantly, and by tracking their paths through the pyramid, scientists can detect voids where fewer muons are absorbed. The results were staggering. The Big Void, comparable in size to the Statue of Liberty's torch arm, positioned strategically as if part of a hidden system. Skeptics dismissed it as a stress-relieving space, but follow-up scans in 2023 revealed the corridor, complete with a chevron ceiling, suggesting deliberate construction. Yet, Zahi Hawass, former head of Egyptian antiquities and a vocal gatekeeper, downplayed it, saying further exploration isn't needed. Why the hesitation? Conspiracists argue Hawass and his ilk are puppets of the elite, Freemasonic influences embedded in archaeology since the 19th century, when Masonic explorers like Howard Vyse discovered Khufu's cartouche in a hidden chamber allegedly forged to fit the official timeline. Vyse's 1837 expedition is a cornerstone of these theories. Tasked with linking the pyramid to Khufu, Vyse blasted into relieving chambers above the king's chamber, finding red-painted quarry marks with the pharaoh's name. But skeptics note inconsistencies. The paint was fresh, the spelling archaic, and Vyse was under pressure from Masonic patrons back home. Was it a hoax to cement Egyptology's narrative, hiding the pyramid's true, pre-pharaonic origins? Fast forward, and similar patterns emerge. In the 1982nd, ground-penetrating radar by the SRI International team detected anomalies beneath the Sphinx cavities that matched Edgar Cayce's psychic visions of Atlantean records. Cayce, the sleeping prophet, claimed in trance readings that survivors of Atlantis buried knowledge under the Sphinx around 10,500 BCE, including crystals for energy manipulation. Excavations began but halted abruptly, with officials citing natural fissures. Coincidence? Or orders from higher up? Perhaps the same forces that placed the pyramid on the dollar bill, symbolizing their unfinished work toward global dominion. The dollar connection fuels endless speculation. Designed by a committee including Franklin, a Freemason, the seal's Latin motto, Novus Ordo Seclorum, translates to New Order of the Ages, echoing the Illuminati's alleged goal of a one-world government. Theorists like David Icke claim the pyramid represents the hierarchy of control. 13 levels for the 13 Illuminati bloodlines, the eye for Luciferian oversight. And Giza is the prototype. Its energy grid, once powering an enlightened age, now co-opted. Ley line maps show Giza linking to the Vatican, Washington DC's obelisk, and London's financial district, all Masonic strongholds. What if muon scans threaten to reveal conductive chambers aligning with these lines, proving the pyramids as ancient power plants? Tesla's Wardenclyffe Tower, meant for wireless energy, was dismantled by financiers like J.P. Morgan. Alleged Illuminati members fearing free power would dismantle their empires. Modern incidents add fuel. In 2020, during the pandemic, amateur satellite imagery enthusiasts claimed to spot unusual activity at Giza: black helicopters, unmarked vehicles near restricted zones. Social media buzzed with theories of elite rituals, tying into QAnon narratives of a deep state cabal using ancient sites for occult purposes. Muon data leaks suggest the Big Void isn't empty. Density variations hint at metallic objects or crystals. A 2024 paper in Nature Communications detailed advanced muon analysis, but key findings were redacted, citing national security. Is Egypt's government complicit? or coerced by global powers. The Freemasons, with lodges in Cairo since Napoleon's invasion, itself rife with Masonic symbolism, might hold sway. Napoleon's 1798 expedition is another pivot. The French emperor, rumoured a Mason, brought scholars who measured the pyramid, discovering its base equals half the minute of latitude at the equator, a geodetic marvel, implying ancient knowledge of Earth's size. Did they uncover ley line maps or energy schematics, spirited away to Masonic archives? Conspiracy author Graham Hancock posits Giza as part of a forgotten civilization, its secrets guarded by successors to the Knights Templar, who merged with Freemasons after their 1307 suppression. The Templars, diggers under Jerusalem's Temple Mount, allegedly found Solomon's treasures Egyptian in origin, fueling their wealth and influence. But the rabbit hole deepens with extraterrestrial teases. Some theorists blend Illuminati lore with ancient astronauts. What if the Cabal worships alien overlords who built the pyramids as energy beacons? UFO sightings at Giza spike during equinoxes, when ley lines supposedly activate. A 2019 declassified CIA document mentions pyramidal energy fields in psychic experiments, echoing Casey. And Atlantean origins? Plato's dialogues describe an advanced society destroyed 9,000 years before Solon, its survivors seeding Egypt. The Illuminati, per John Roberson's 1797 expose, sought to revive this enlightened order, suppressing rivals. These threads converge on a chilling possibility. The hidden masters aren't just preserving history, they're wielding it. Muon scans halted, voids unexplored, because activation could disrupt the grid or reveal tech that elites hoard. Questions linger. Who funds the suppressions? Why do world leaders visit Giza privately? What rituals occur under the full moon? As the sands shift and shadows lengthen, these enigmas pull us deeper, refusing easy answers. The pyramid's gaze watches, unblinking, as if daring us to uncover more. But for now, let the weight of these revelations settle, like the desert's hush before dawn. Welcome, seekers of the unknown, to Mystery History for Sleep. I'm Mr. H, your guide through the shadows of the past, where truths lie buried beneath sand and silence. Tonight, we begin our epic journey with the ultimate conspiracy, Hidden Masters of Giza, the first layer in a pyramid of mysteries that will unfold across the hours ahead. Close your eyes, let the whispers carry you, and remember, if these questions haunt your dreams, hit subscribe to join us for the revelations yet to come. What if the stars of Orion's belt aren't just distant lights in the night sky, but a cosmic blueprint etched into the sands of Giza by beings from another world, visitors who descended in gleaming craft, their shadows flickering over the pyramids like harbingers of a truth too vast for humanity to grasp? Picture this. On the 3rd of December, 2020, as the world grappled with unseen forces, a massive diamond-shaped UFO, flanked by smaller orbs, hovered silently above the ancient monuments, defying gravity and logic, only to vanish into the ether, leaving witnesses breathless and authorities scrambling for cover-ups. Was this a random anomaly, or the latest in a string of extraterrestrial rendezvous at the very site where ancient texts whisper of gods from the heavens? And if aliens did build these colossal structures, aligning them with Orion as a stellar gateway, why do modern sightings spike during equinoxes, when the veil between worlds thins? Could these UFOs be returning to activate long-dormant technology buried beneath the plateau, technology that could rewrite our energy paradigms, or unravel the fabric of reality itself? The questions burn brighter than Al-Nitak, Al-Nilam, and Mintaka combined. Are we alone, or have they been watching and waiting all along? Hold on to that cosmic shiver, because the threads of this enigma weave back through millennia, pulling us into the heart of the ancient astronaut theory, a bold hypothesis that challenges everything we thought we knew about human history. Pioneered by Swiss author Erich von Däniken in his groundbreaking 1968 book Chariots of the Gods, this idea posits that extraterrestrial beings visited Earth in antiquity, sharing advanced knowledge with early civilizations, and even guiding the construction of monumental structures like the pyramids of Giza. Von Däniken argues that the precision engineering of these wonders, massive granite blocks weighing up to 80 tons, fitted so tightly that not even a razor blade can slip between them, far exceeds the capabilities of ancient Egyptians armed only with copper chisels and wooden ramps. He points to the Great Pyramid's alignment with true north to within a fraction of a degree, a feat that would require sophisticated surveying tools unknown to the Fourth Dynasty. But it's the celestial connections that elevate this from speculation to spine-tingling possibility. The pyramid's air shafts, narrow passages extending from the king's chamber, align not just with any stars, but specifically with Orion's belt as it appeared around 2450 BCE, the supposed era of construction. Von Däniken's theories draw from a tapestry of global anomalies, but Giza stands as the crown jewel. He interprets ancient Egyptian texts, like the pyramid texts inscribed in later structures at Saqqara, as veiled accounts of alien encounters, gods descending in fiery chariots, imparting wisdom on resurrection and the afterlife. Osiris, the god associated with Orion, is depicted as a being of rebirth, his dismembered body reassembled by Isis, in a narrative that echoes modern tales of alien abductions and genetic engineering. Could the pyramids be more than tombs? Von Däniken suggests they served as observatories or even landing pads, their geometric perfection a signal to the stars. Critics dismiss this as pseudoscience, pointing out that Egyptian records, like the Diary of Mira, detail limestone transport for Khufu's pyramid using human labor and Nile barges. Yet von Däniken counters with the sheer improbability. How did a civilization without the wheel or iron tools quarry, transport, and place over 3 million blocks with sub-millimeter accuracy? His answer: extraterrestrial assistance, perhaps anti-gravity devices or sonic levitation, technologies hinted at in Hindu epics like the Mahabharata, where Vimana's flying machines wage wars among the gods. This interstellar intrigue deepens with the Orion correlation theory, a fringe yet fascinating idea first proposed by Robert Bauval in 1983 and popularized in his 1994 book, The Orion Mystery. Bauval noticed that the 3 main pyramids at Giza, those of Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure, mirror the alignment of Orion's belt stars, Al-Nitak, Al-Nilam, and Mintaka, not just in layout, but in relative brightness and offset. The smaller pyramid of Menkaure corresponds to the dimmer Mintaka, slightly askew from the line formed by the other 2. Bauval calculated that this alignment would have been perfect around 10,500 BCE, millennia before the accepted construction date of 2,580 BCE, suggesting the pyramids commemorate an earlier epoch, perhaps the dawn of the Age of Leo, when the Sphinx, facing east, would have gazed at its zodiacal counterpart rising on the vernal equinox. In Egyptian mythology, Orion was linked to Osiris, the resurrected king, while the Milky Way represented the Nile, flowing beside the pyramids, as the galaxy does beside Orion's belt. Bauval's theory, co-authored with Graham Hancock in Keeper of Genesis, extends to the Nile mirroring the Milky Way, creating a terrestrial map of the heavens. Proponents argue this wasn't coincidence, but intentional design by ancient architects, possibly guided by extraterrestrials, who encoded cosmic knowledge into stone. Astronomical analyses, like those by astronomers Ed Krupp and Tony Farrell, have critiqued the theory, noting discrepancies in angles 47 to 50 degrees versus 38 degrees, and the need to invert the star map to match the pyramids. Yet, a 2011 quantitative study by Magley found a linear correlation between pyramid heights and star brightness, lending some astrophysical credence, though mainstream Egyptology rejects it as pseudo-archaeology. Von Däniken weaves this into his narrative, proposing the alignment as a stellar beacon, signaling to alien progenitors who seeded human civilization. The shafts in the Great Pyramid, he claims, weren't for ventilation but soul projection, or perhaps energy beams pointing to Orion as a gateway for pharaonic ascension, echoing UFO religions where stars harbor advanced beings. Modern UFO sightings at Giza amplify these ancient echoes, turning speculation into contemporary chills. On the 3rd of December, 2020, witnesses reported a large diamond-shaped UFO accompanied by smaller orbs hovering over the pyramids, captured in videos that went viral on platforms like Reddit and TikTok. This wasn't isolated. In 2016, a fleet of UFOs was filmed over the Giza plateau, sparking debates on YouTube channels like Third Face of Moon. A Canadian tourist in March 2025 caught footage of an unidentified object circling the Great Pyramid, shared widely on social media. TikTok users have documented orbs emerging from the pyramids, with one video from July 2025 showing a mysterious craft near the Sphinx. Even earlier accounts, like Pharaoh Thutmose III's sighting of fiery discs over the Nile around 1480 BCE, as recorded in the Thule Papyrus, suggest a millennia-long pattern. 10, formerly Twitter, buzzes with these phenomena. Posts from @UndercoverETuck discuss underground mysteries and UFO evidence at the Sphinx, linking to YouTube videos. @Mania UFO shares images of aligned Martian towers mimicking Giza, fueling alien construction theories. Podcasts like @UFO Cron Podcast debate pyramid tech as alien handiwork, while @The Face of Moon reports a 2-mile deep megalithic discovery under Giza, possibly extraterrestrial. These sightings often coincide with equinoxes or solstices, when ley lines Earth's energy grids are said to activate, drawing UFOs like moths to a flame. Conspiracy theorists tie this to government black ops, with leaked CIA documents mentioning pyramidal energy fields in psychic experiments. Edgar Cayce's psychic visions add ethereal depth. In trances, he described Atlantean survivors fleeing to Egypt around 10,500 BCE, building pyramids with alien aid, storing crystal-powered records beneath the Sphinx. Recent muon tomography scans confirm voids, like a 30-meter chamber above the Grand Gallery, possibly housing these artifacts. But excavations halt, fueling claims of elite suppression perhaps, the Illuminati, echoing Part 1's shadows, fear alien tech disrupting their control. Global parallels bolster the case. Nazca lines in Peru as alien runways, Puma Punku's precision, cut stones in Bolivia defying Inca tools, and Baalbek's 800-ton monoliths in Lebanon, all attributed to extraterrestrials by von Däniken. Sumerian Anunnaki texts describe sky gods engineering humanity, while Hindu Vimanas resemble UFOs in aerial battle. The Dogon tribe's knowledge of Sirius B, invisible without telescopes, is credited to amphibious aliens. Yet, criticisms abound. Astronomers like Ed Krupp note the Orion alignment requires inverting the map, and the vernal equinox in 10,500 BCE was in Virgo, not Leo. A 2011 study found correlations but no causation. Mainstream views credit Egyptians' ingenuity, with ramps and levers explaining construction. Still, anomalies persist. Elongated skulls of Akhenaten's family, interpreted as alien mimicry, and helicopter, like hieroglyphs at Abydos. As electromagnetic anomalies disrupt compasses near the pyramids, and orbs dance in night skies, the extraterrestrial hypothesis lingers like a whisper from Orion. Are these visitors benevolent guides or watchful overseers? The pyramids stand silent, but the stars and UFOs may yet reveal all. What if, in the cataclysmic final hours of Atlantis, its gleaming spires crumbling under colossal waves, its crystal-powered engines flickering out as the Earth itself rebelled, the last survivors fled across storm-tossed seas, carrying forbidden knowledge to the Nile's fertile banks, where they etched their legacy into the Giza plateau, not as tombs for kings, but as eternal beacons to summon their lost homeland from the abyss? Imagine the scene. Towering tsunamis swallowing an empire of advanced engineers and navigators, their flying machines streaking toward Egypt's horizon, where the Sphinx, carved in the image of their lion-headed guardians, would stand sentinel over submerged secrets. And now, in 2025, with muon scans revealing vast underground structures beneath the pyramids, chambers that echo prophecies of Atlantean records, could we be on the brink of unearthing proof that Giza isn't Egyptian at all, but a remnant of Plato's sunken utopia? What ancient technologies lie hidden there, crystals that harnessed free energy or maps to other worlds. And if Atlantis rose again through these discoveries, would it shatter our history, or doom us to repeat its fatal hubris? The waves of questions crash endlessly. Were the pyramids built to resurrect a drowned civilization? And are modern elites suppressing the digs to hoard its power for themselves? These tantalizing riddles pull us into the depths of one of history's most enduring legends, Atlantis, the fabled island empire that vanished beneath the sea, leaving echoes in ancient texts and modern mysteries. The story originates with Plato, the Greek philosopher who, in his dialogues Timaeus and Critias, around 360 BCE, recounted a tale passed down from Egyptian priests to Solon, Plato's ancestor. According to Plato, Atlantis flourished 9,000 years before Solon's time, around 9,600 BCE, as a naval powerhouse beyond the Pillars of Hercules. Its people were descendants of Poseidon, god of the sea, who founded the civilization on a concentric island of rings, rich in orichalcum, a mythical reddish metal, and a society advanced beyond imagination. They built canals, harbors, and temples adorned with gold and ivory, mastering agriculture, metallurgy, and even flight. But corruption seeped in. The Atlanteans grew arrogant, waging wars against Athens and Egypt until the gods unleashed earthquakes and floods, swallowing the island in a single day and night. Plato's account, often dismissed as allegory for moral decay, carries details too vivid for mere fiction. Precise measurements of the central island, hierarchical society with 10 kings, and a central temple to Poseidon housing a massive statue. Critias breaks off mid-sentence, leaving the fate of Atlantis' survivors tantalizingly open. Yet, Plato insisted it was true history, sourced from Egyptian records. Fast forward to the 19th century, and Ignatius Donnelly's 1882 book revived the legend, proposing Atlantis as the cradle of all civilizations, its refugees seeding Egypt, Mesoamerica, and beyond. Donnelly linked pyramid-building cultures worldwide, arguing similar designs from Giza's stepped marvels to Mexico's Teotihuacan stemmed from Atlantean blueprints. This brings us to Giza's eerie connections, where geological evidence whispers of a pre-Egyptian origin, aligning with Atlantis' timeline. Geologist Robert Schoch's groundbreaking work in the 1992nd analyzed the Sphinx's enclosure, finding deep vertical fissures and undulating erosion patterns indicative of heavy rainfall, not the wind-sand abrasions seen on nearby structures. Schoch dates this to the African humid period's end, around 7,000 to 5,000 BCE, when monsoons drenched the Sahara, transforming it from grassland to desert. But Plato's 9,600 BCE fits an even earlier wet phase post-Ice Age, when meltwater floods ravaged coasts. John Anthony West suggests the Sphinx, originally a lion, later recarved into a pharaoh's face, symbolizes Leo, the zodiac age from 8,800 BCE, when it would have faced its celestial counterpart at equinox. Edgar Cayce, the sleeping prophet, adds psychic dimensions to this puzzle. In over 700 trance readings from the 1922nd, 1942nd, Cayce described Atlantis as a technologically superior society destroyed in 3 cataclysms, the last around 500 BCE due to misuse of fire crystals for energy, causing volcanic eruptions and submersion. Survivors, including Egyptian high priest Rata, fled to the Nile, building the pyramids and Sphinx as repositories for their knowledge. Cayce pinpointed a hall of records beneath the Sphinx's right paw, containing Atlantean artifacts, crystals for healing and power, scrolls on human origins, and devices for levitation. Remarkably, in 1978, ground-penetrating radar detected anomalies in that exact spot cavities dismissed as natural but matching Cayce's visions. A 1993 seismic survey by Schoch and Thomas Debunking confirmed subsurface chambers, yet excavations halted amid bureaucratic denials. Recent 2025 discoveries ignite these theories anew. In March 2025, an interdisciplinary team announced radar findings beneath the Giza plateau, vast L-shaped structures, and anomalies suggesting a hidden city or interconnected complex. Published in scientific journals, these include a 30-meter void above the Grand Gallery and a 9-meter corridor near the north face, revealed by muon tomography, a technique using cosmic rays to map densities without digging. Skeptics attribute them to architectural features, but proponents argue they're entrances to Casey's Hall, potentially housing Atlantean tech. Graham Hancock ties this to global cataclysms, ice core data showing rapid sea level rise around 9,600 BCE, submerging coastal civilizations. Hancock explores Yonaguni's underwater pyramids off Japan terraced formations dated 8,000 BCE as Atlantean remnants, their right angles defying natural erosion. Social media buzzes with 2025 revelations. Posts from March 2025 claim a secret library of Atlantis under the pyramids, with viral videos amassing millions of views. Users share footage speculating on massive underground discoveries, garnering over 2.6 million impressions. Others link it to Casey's prophecies, discussing Stone's Atlantean power crystals beneath the Sphinx. Another thread questions if recent scans confirm ancient libraries, sparking debates with 37 million views. These align with a June 2025 article on a second hidden city under Giza, where scientists double down on claims of interconnected structures. A YouTube video from March 2025 details splits in archaeology over these finds. Global parallels strengthen the Atlantis-Giza link. Göbekli Tepe, in Turkey, dated 9,600 BCE, features T-shaped pillars with carvings of animals and symbols, predating agriculture evidence of advanced hunter-gatherers, perhaps Atlantean refugees. Pumapunku in Bolivia boasts precision-cut andesite blocks, interlocked like puzzles, defying Inca tools. The underwater pyramid off Alaska, reported in April 2025 as predating Egyptian landmarks by thousands of years, features a 90-foot structure, possibly man-made. These sites share motifs, astronomical alignments, massive stonework, and sudden emergence without precursors, suggesting a diffused knowledge from a central source, Atlantis. Critics debunk Atlantean theories, attributing pyramids to Egyptian ingenuity via ramps and levers. Yet, anomalies persist. The inventory Stelae describes Khufu restoring the Sphinx, implying it predated him, while water erosion supports a 7,000 BCE origin. Casey's accuracy, predicting the hall's discovery between 1936 to 1998, aligning with early radar fuel's belief. Articles explore lost pyramid truths, tying them to Atlantean energy grids. Conspiracies swirl. Why suppress 2025 digs? Reports from April question the underground city claim, suggesting political motives. Users list space ark locations, including Giza and Atlantis' site, speculating on ancient tech. If Atlantis connected to Giza, its crystals could explain pyramid acoustics, resonating at 110 Hz for healing or power. The enigma endures. Did Atlanteans build Giza as a survival vault, encoding math like pi and precession to guide future generations? Recent voids hint yes, but gates remain locked. Questions cascade. What cataclysm awaits if we unearth their warnings? The plateau's silence holds the key, echoing across lost seas. But let's dive deeper into the technological marvels that Atlantis might have bestowed upon Giza. Proponents envision the pyramids not as mere monuments, but as sophisticated machines. Their granite chambers, rich in quartz, acting as piezoelectric generators, converting mechanical stress into electricity. In Atlantean lore, fire crystals, massive quartz obelisks, harnessed solar and geomagnetic energies, powering cities and even weather control systems. If survivors transported these to Egypt, the king's chamber, with its resonant frequencies inducing altered states, could be a resurrection device, using sound waves to realign human energies for immortality, a concept mirrored in Egyptian myths of Osiris's revival. Hancock and others point to the mathematical encodings as Atlantean fingerprints. The Great Pyramid's base perimeter divided by its height approximates 2 pi, while its slope embeds the golden ratio phi, constants unknown to 4th dynasty Egyptians, but fundamental to advanced civilizations. Scaling by 43,200, a factor linked to Earth's precession cycle yields the planet's polar radius and equatorial circumference, implying geodetic knowledge from a seafaring empire like Atlantis. Plato describes Atlanteans as global navigators, their fleets mapping the world. Perhaps Giza served as a geodetic marker, centering the planet's landmass for their grid. The Sphinx, with its disproportionate head suggesting recarving from an older lion form, aligns with Atlantean symbolism, lions as guardians of sacred knowledge, facing east toward the rising sun of renewal. Water erosion, as shock details, matches post-glacial floods around 9,600 BCE, when younger Dryas impacts comet fragments striking Earth triggered rapid climate shifts, flooding lowlands and inspiring flood myths worldwide, from Noah to Gilgamesh. Expanding on Casey's visions, he foresaw the hall containing 3 chambers, one for Egyptian records, one for Atlantean, and one for future humanity, with artifacts like a solar apparatus for energy. Recent muon scans' L-shaped anomalies could be these access points, their geometry echoing Atlantean concentric designs. Why the suppression? Conspiracists argue elites tracing to Rosicrucian or Masonic orders influenced by Atlantean law fear free energy disrupting economies, or resurrection tech challenging mortality's control. Global echoes abound. Bimini Road off Florida. Underwater stone formations dated 8,000 BCE as potential Atlantean harbors. Sardinia's Nurag Towers, megalithic structures with acoustic properties similar to Giza. And Indonesia's Gunung Padang, a pyramid-like hill dated 20,000 BCE, with chambers hinting at lost tech. These form a pattern. Post-Ice Age sites with advanced features, survivors scattering knowledge before amnesia set in. In Egypt, the dream stealer of Thutmose IV describes the Sphinx as forgotten, buried in sand odd for a 800-year-old monument, but fitting if Atlantean, millennia older. The inventory stela portrays Khufu as restorer, honoring Isis as pyramid mistress, perhaps a vestige of Atlantean goddesses. As 2025 unfolds, with whispers of deeper scans revealing metallic signatures in voids, possibly orichalcum alloys, the Atlantis-Giza nexus tantalizes. Will we unearth crystals that light the world anew, or awaken forces that sank an empire? The plateau beckons, its secrets rising like waves on a forgotten shore, urging us to question, is history a cycle, and are we next to fall? What if, in the dimly lit corridors of power from the echoing halls of UNESCO's Paris headquarters to the sun-baked offices of Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities, a cabal of modern gatekeepers, bound by oaths older than the pyramids themselves, orchestrates a silent war against truth, burying explosive discoveries beneath layers of red tape and outright denial? Picture this: a whistleblower archaeologist, clutching leaked documents from a 2025 black-budget operation, reveals scans of Giza's underground labyrinth vast chambers, humming with unexplained electromagnetic pulses, only to vanish days later, their findings scrubbed from the internet as if they never existed. And what if these gatekeepers aren't just protecting fragile artifacts, but concealing a paradigm-shattering reality? That the pyramids hold technologies capable of upending global economies, or proof of extraterrestrial origins that could dismantle religions and governments alike? Could the recent halts on muon tomography explorations, citing vague security concerns, be the latest move in a centuries-old game where elites hoard ancient power, ensuring humanity remains in the dark? The silence screams louder than any revelation. Who benefits from this veil, and what cataclysmic secrets are they so desperate to keep buried? Hold that thought, for the unraveling begins now, thread by insidious thread. This veil of secrecy, woven tightly around the Giza plateau, forms the core of what many call the ultimate modern conspiracy, a deliberate suppression of knowledge that threatens to rewrite human history. At its heart stands Egyptology itself, a field born in the 19th century amid colonial expeditions and Masonic intrigue. now accused of intellectual gatekeeping to preserve a linear narrative of civilization's rise. The accepted story pyramids built by Pharaoh Khufu around 2580 BCE, using ramps, copper tools, and sheer manpower, crumbles under anomalies like water erosion on the Sphinx dating back 7,000 years, or mathematical encodings of pi and Earth's dimensions that surpass ancient Egyptian capabilities. Yet, when researchers like Robert Schoch or Graham Hancock propose pre-pharaonic origins, they're dismissed as fringe theorists, their work marginalized in academic journals and conferences. Why? Because admitting Giza's monuments were inherited from a lost civilization, perhaps Atlantis or extraterrestrial architects, would dismantle careers, textbooks, and the very foundation of Western history, forcing us to confront cycles of rise and fall rather than steady progress. The Supreme Council of Antiquities, led for decades by figures like Zahi Hawass, Egypt's flamboyant keeper of secrets, embodies this gatekeeping. Hawass, often called the Indiana Jones of Egypt, has controlled access to sites with an iron fist, revoking permits for teams whose findings challenge orthodoxy. In 2010, he halted a German team's robot exploration of the Great Pyramid's air shafts after it discovered a sealed door with copper handles, dismissing it as insignificant. Fast forward to 2025, and similar patterns emerge. An international consortium's muon scans using cosmic rays to map hidden voids reveal a massive chamber above the Grand Gallery, potentially 30 meters long, alongside L-shaped anomalies, suggesting interconnected tunnels. Initial excitement in scientific circles gives way to silence. Permits for endoscopic cameras or drills are denied, with officials citing preservation risks or tourism impacts. Hawass, now in advisory roles, publicly downplays these as structural features, but leaked emails circulated on underground forums suggest pressure from higher echelons to contain narratives that could incite public unrest. UNESCO plays a pivotal role in this alleged conspiracy, as the United Nations cultural arm overseeing World Heritage sites like Giza. Designated in 1979, Giza's status grants UNESCO influence over excavations, funding, and international collaborations. Critics argue this creates a bottleneck, where projects aligning with established timelines receive grants, while radical proposals like those exploring Atlantean links or alien theories are starved of resources. A 2024 UNESCO report on sustainable archaeology emphasizes non-invasive methods, but conspiracists see it as a smokescreen for blocking deep probes. Why? Because UNESCO, tied to global governments and philanthropists, allegedly serves elite interests. Philanthropic foundations, some linked to Rockefeller or Gates families accused in broader conspiracies of population control fund Egyptology programs that reinforce pharaonic origins, diverting from anomalies that could reveal free energy, tech, or proof of advanced ancient societies. Leaked documents fuel these flames. In early 2025, a purported whistleblower from the Egyptian Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities released files on dark websites detailing Operation Sandveil, a black-budget program funded by international partners to scan Giza for anomalous artifacts using classified tech like ground-penetrating radar enhanced with AI. The docs describe electromagnetic pulses emanating from underground voids, interfering with equipment and causing temporal distortions in readings, hints of active, perhaps Atlantean, devices. One file mentions a metallic object, possibly a crystal matrix, detected 2 kilometers deep, but the team was ordered to seal the data and withdraw. The whistleblower claimed ties to US intelligence, suggesting CIA involvement in suppressing finds that could disrupt global energy markets. Days later, the leaker disappeared, their online presence erased, echoing fates of others like John Anthony West, whose Sphinx theories were ridiculed until his death in 2018. Disappearing artifacts form another chilling chapter. Over decades, items from Giza dig strange metallic fragments, elongated skulls suggesting non-human DNA, or papyrus scraps hinting at pre-dynastic tech vanish from museums or private collections. In 2023, a Cairo museum curator reported a golden capstone model from the pyramid era stolen, only for officials to deny its existence. Conspiracists link this to Illuminati networks, where symbols like the pyramid and all-seeing eye adorn the US dollar, representing unfinished work toward a new world order. Freemasons, with Egyptian roots in their rituals, allegedly hoard these artifacts in secret vaults, using them for occult ceremonies that tap ancient energies. Ley lines Earth's supposed energy grid converge at Giza, and suppressing digs prevents activation that could empower the masses with free energy, threatening oil barons and power elites. Whistleblower silencing adds human tragedy to the tale. In 2019, archaeologist Carmen Bolter, producer of the Pyramid Code, claimed threats after documenting Giza's acoustic properties as energy amplifiers. Bolter's team recorded frequencies inducing trance states, suggesting pyramids as resonance machines, perhaps Atlantean in design. She alleges phone taps and funding cuts from shadowy donors. Similarly, in 2025, a Scan Pyramids team member anonymously posted on forums about anomalous readings showing metallic signatures in voids, only for their account to be hacked and deleted. These patterns mirror broader conspiracies. The 1,962nd assassination theories around JFK, tied to Masonic symbols or Roswell UFO cover-ups, where witnesses recant under pressure. Ties to Illuminati deepen the intrigue. Founded in 1776 by Adam Weishaupt, the Bavarian Illuminati sought enlightenment through reason, but law paints them as puppet masters infiltrating Freemasonry. Egyptian obelisks in Rome, London, and Washington, D.C., all Masonic hubs symbolize this link, with Giza as the archetype. Conspiracists claim elites use pyramid rituals for power, suppressing Giza truths to maintain hierarchy. Black-budget ops, funded by trillions in off-book accounts, scan for exotic materials code for Atlantean or alien tech. A 2024 Pentagon report on UAP, unidentified aerial phenomena, mentions historical sites like Giza as hotspots, but redacts details, fueling speculation of government alien pacts hiding pyramid origins. Phenomena like artifact anomalies persist. In 2022, a Giza worker reported glowing orbs emerging from shafts during equinox, captured on blurry video before authorities confiscated devices. These orbs, tied to UFO sightings, suggest active suppression drones or guards patrolling restricted zones at night. Tourism, Egypt's economic lifeline, masks this. Millions visit annually, but off-limits areas grow, with restoration excuses closing sites during key alignments. Global institutions like UNESCO enforce this through heritage protection policies, prioritizing conservation over exploration. The 2025 UNESCO Conference on Ethical Archaeology emphasized AI monitoring to prevent unauthorized digs, seen as surveillance tools. Critics argue this serves the elite. Rockefeller-funded UNESCO programs echo broader agendas, like depopulation theories linked to ancient warnings in Atlantean scrolls. The burned Coptic scroll from earlier parts exemplifies erasure, describing pyramids predating language. It vanished in a suspicious fire, perhaps orchestrated to silence pre-Atlantean proofs. Robot explorations, 1993's Upuaut and 2002's Pyramid rover, found sealed doors but stopped short, with data classified. As question mount, why Denis 2025 voids exploration if empty? The Gatekeepers' silence speak volumes. Is it fear of economic collapse from free energy, religious upheaval from alien gods, or exposure of elite bloodlines tracing to Atlantis? The plateau's shadows lengthen, hiding truths that could liberate or destroy. But the conspiracy's tentacles extend further, entwining with pharmaceutical giants and tech moguls who fund selective digs. Bill Gates' investments in AI archaeology tools raise eyebrows. Could they scan for biotech in Atlantean records, like longevity serums? Elon Musk's tweets on pyramids, as alien tech hint at insider knowledge, his Neuralink echoing crystal mind control theories. Whistleblowers like Bolter face not just threats but disinformation campaigns, labeled pseudoscientists by media outlets owned by the same elites. Hawas's television specials reinforce orthodoxy, while alternative voices like Hancock face Netflix bans in Egypt, Phenomena include pyramid power experiments, blades sharpening inside scale models, or plants growing faster, hints of suppressed energy fields. In 2025, a leaked video shows equipment malfunctioning near voids, with compasses spinning wildly, suggesting magnetic anomalies guarded fiercely. The Illuminati's role. Their new order mirrors Atlantean hubris, suppressing Giza to prevent a true enlightenment. Black ops like Project Stargate explored pyramid psychics, linking to Casey's visions. As we peel layers, the silence reveals a web. Governments, UNESCO, elites all complicit in veiling Giza's power. What if unlocking it resurrects Atlantis's fall? The gatekeepers know, and their hush is our warning. What if, in the shadowed heart of the Great Pyramid where massive granite blocks, hauled from distant quarries and fitted with unearthly precision, hum with a resonance that defies time itself, the ancient Egyptians, or perhaps their forgotten predecessors, unlocked a technology so potent it could harness the Earth's own vibrations, converting seismic whispers into boundless energy that lit their world without flame or fuel. Imagine Nikola Tesla, that visionary genius of electricity, standing before Giza's monoliths in the early 20th century, his mind ablaze with revelations that the pyramids weren't tombs but colossal power plants, machines mirroring his own Wardenclyffe Tower, only to have his dreams crushed by financiers who feared free energy would topple their empires of coal and oil. And now, in 2025, with muon scans piercing the plateau to reveal vast underground chambers pulsing with unexplained electromagnetic fields, could we be witnessing the awakening of this ancient grid, a network capable of wireless power transmission that elites have suppressed for centuries? What forgotten forces lie dormant there? Quartz crystals, amplifying sound waves into electricity, or harmonic resonators that could solve our energy crises overnight? The pulses grow stronger. If the pyramids were built as power plants, why do modern discoveries echo Tesla's warnings? And who stands to lose if we flip the switch? Grip that surge of possibility, for the currents of truth are about to flow. This electrifying hypothesis that the pyramids of Giza served as ancient power plants stems from the pioneering work of Christopher Dunn, a master craftsman and aerospace engineer whose decades of research culminated in his 1998 book, a brilliant piece of reverse engineering that reimagines the Great Pyramid, not as a pharaoh's grave, but as a sophisticated machine designed to harvest and distribute energy. Dunn argues that the pyramid's internal architecture, its chambers, passageways, and precise alignments were engineered to create harmonic resonance with the Earth, converting vibrational energies into microwave radiation or usable electricity. Drawing from his expertise in high-precision manufacturing, he details how the pyramid's massive scale and materials maximized acoustical qualities, potentially providing clean, limitless power to an advanced civilization. Far from the ramp and lever narratives of mainstream Egyptology, Dunn envisions a structure tuned like a giant instrument, its granite blocks rich in quartz crystals, acting as piezoelectric transducers that generate electricity under mechanical stress, much like modern sensors but on a monumental scale. At the core of Dunn's theory lies the King's Chamber, that enigmatic granite box at the pyramid's heart, surrounded by blocks weighing up to 80 tons, hauled 500 miles from Aswan, and fitted so tightly that no mortar was needed. Acoustic testing in the chamber reveals extraordinary properties. Sounds at specific frequencies, around 110 Hz, produce standing waves that resonate unnaturally, as if the space was designed to amplify vibrations. Dunn proposes this was no accident. The chamber functioned as a resonance cavity, where seismic activity, Earth's constant tremors, vibrated the quartz-laden granite, triggering piezoelectric effects to release electrons and generate power. This energy, he suggests, could have been focused through the pyramid's shafts, aligned with celestial bodies like Orion's belt, perhaps beaming microwave radiation outward or converting it into usable forms. The Grand Gallery, with its corbelled ceiling and scorch marks on the walls, might have housed mechanisms for this process, evidence of an explosion or overload that Dunn attributes to a catastrophic failure in ancient times. Dunn's ideas draw heavily from Nikola Tesla, the inventor who revolutionized electricity with alternating current, but dreamed bigger of wireless energy transmission across the globe. Tesla visited Egypt in his lifetime, reportedly studying the pyramids and speculating they harnessed Earth's natural frequencies, much like his Colorado Springs experiments where he sent power wirelessly over miles. Tesla's Wardenclyffe Tower, built in 1901 on Long Island, was intended as a global broadcasting system for free energy, drawing from atmospheric electricity and Earth's resonances concepts echoing Dunn's pyramid model. Tesla believed the ionosphere could act as a conductor, with towers like Wardenclyffe tapping into it for limitless power. But his financier, J.P. Morgan, pulled funding, allegedly fearing it would undermine profitable wired electricity empires. Conspiracists see this as the first in a chain of suppressions. Tesla's notes, seized by the FBI upon his 1,943 death, patents classified, and ideas buried to protect oil and utility monopolies. Dunn extends this to Giza. What if the pyramids formed a similar grid, their capstones once gold, plated for conductivity, acting as antennas in a worldwide energy network? Ley lines amplify this vision, those invisible pathways of geomagnetic energy crisscrossing the planet, connecting sacred sites like Stonehenge, Machu Picchu, and Giza. Proponents argue the Great Pyramid sits at a major nexus, its position at Earth's landmass center optimizing energy flow. Dunn suggests the pyramid attenuated seismic stresses, stimulating electron release in the crust while providing clean power, inspired by earthquake lights glowing phenomena during quakes, linked to piezoelectric discharges. Russian studies in the 2002 measured electromagnetic concentrations inside the pyramid, supporting energy harvesting claims. In 2025, at the Global Pyramid Conference, Dunn highlighted recent satellite-based synthetic aperture radar (SAR) scans of the Giza Plateau, revealing structures over 2,000 feet underground cylindrical wells spiraling downward, connected to cube-shaped chambers that could be ancient reservoirs or capacitors for this system. Links to other ancient sites bolster the theory. Malta's Hypogeum, a 5,000-year-old underground temple, resonates at 110-111 Hz, frequencies inducing trance states or even healing similar to Giza's chamber. Researchers speculate sound-based levitation moved massive stones, with acoustic waves reducing friction. In Peru, Chavin de Huanta's corridors amplify low frequencies, perhaps for rituals or energy manipulation. Pumapunku's interlocked blocks, cut with laser-like precision, defy explanation without advanced tech, hinting at a global network where pyramids wirelessly transmitted power, as Tesla envisioned. Dunn's computer analyses show Ramses II statues machined with tolerances rivaling modern CNC tools, suggesting mega-machines powered by this grid. Conspiracies of suppression swirl around these ideas. Tesla's fate ideas quashed by barons like Morgan, who controlled copper wires, mirrors modern oil giants, allegedly burying pyramid research. In 2025, claims of a second hidden city under Giza, with L-shaped anomalies and metallic signatures, sparked viral debates, but excavations stalled amid security concerns. Whistleblowers report black helicopters over restricted zones, data scrubbed from servers. Elites, tied to Illuminati or Masonic orders, fear free energy disrupting trillions in profits, or revealing Atlantean origins that challenge biblical timelines. Dunn's scorch marks in the Grand Gallery suggest an ancient overload, perhaps a warning suppressed to prevent replication. NASA's earthquake light studies echo Dunn. Piezoelectric effects during quakes generate plasma, visible as auras scaled up in pyramids for power. Acoustic tests at sacred sites worldwide show Earth's frequency tuning, implying a lost science. In 2017, a large void above the Grand Gallery was discovered, potentially a resonance chamber, but probes halted. As 2025 unfolds, SAR scans reveal wells to 648 meters, ending in 80-meter cubes, perhaps capacitors in Dunn's model. Viral videos speculate on wireless power, linking to Tesla's prototypes recovered recently. Engineers believe piezoelectric quartz in granite, vibrated by waterways and reactions, generated currents gold capstones conducting it skyward. Questions electrify. Were pyramids a clean energy solution? Suppressed like Tesla's dreams? What pulses in those voids, waiting activation? The hum grows, perhaps the grid stirs, challenging Gatekeepers' silence. Expanding further, consider the pyramid's dimensions. Base equals half a minute of latitude at the equator, implying geodetic knowledge for energy alignment. Dunn's reverse engineering shows shafts as waveguides, focusing microwaves. Peruvian sites like Ollantaytambo feature stones melted into place, perhaps sonic tech from the same source. Suppression conspiracies deepen. Tesla's induction motor prototype, verified in 2025, ties to pyramid artifacts. Elites hoard this, using black budgets for replication, while denying public access. The theory's critics argue no direct evidence, but anomalies persist. Blades sharpening inside pyramid models, plants growing faster pyramid power effects, hinting at fields we can't measure. In Malta, hypergeum's frequencies alter brainwaves, like Giza's 110 Hz for meditation or power amplification. Chavin's pututus, shell trumpets, create infrasound, levitating objects in experiments. Global grid theories posit pyramids as nodes, wireless like Tesla's Vision Wardenclyffe dismantled. But Giza endures, capstoneless as unfinished. 2025 conference discussions, underground structures as aquifers for chemical reactions, generating hydrogen for power, per Dunn. As pulses echo, the pyramids challenge, unlock their energy, or remain in darkness. The gatekeepers tremble, the switch awaits. Close your eyes, let the whispers carry you, and remember, if these questions haunt your dreams, hit subscribe to join us for the revelations yet to come. What if, etched into the unyielding limestone slopes of the Great Pyramid, slopes that rise at an angle whispering secrets of the cosmos, a hidden mathematical prophecy foretells the end of our era, its dimensions not just mirroring the Earth's curvature, but encoding cycles of apocalypse and rebirth that align with the stars' slow waltz across 25,920 years. Imagine astronomers in 2025 peering through advanced telescopes synced with AI simulations, uncovering that the pyramid's base-to-height ratio doesn't merely approximate pi, but predicts solar flares and magnetic reversals set to disrupt global grids in the coming decades, codes that Tesla himself might have, decoded as warnings from a time-lost civilization. And what if these cosmic equations, defying the primitive tools we attribute to ancient Egypt, transform the pyramid into a literal time machine, a stone sentinel preserving universal truths through cataclysms that have erased empires before? Could the recent quantum computing analyses of Giza's alignments reveal it as a Stargate blueprint, portals activated during equinoxes when Orion's belt overlays the pyramids like a key turning in a celestial lock? The numbers pulse with urgency. If these codes are messages from 10,500 BCE, why do they echo modern prophecies of doom? And what forgotten cataclysm awaits if we fail to heed them? Cling to that stellar shiver, for the equations are about to unfold, revealing patterns that bend time itself. This mesmerizing web of mathematics, woven into the very fabric of the Great Pyramid, forms the essence of what some call the cosmic codes, a symphony of ratios, alignments, and constants that transcend human history, suggesting the structure as a repository of eternal knowledge, a time machine in stone designed to outlast civilizations. At its foundation lies the pyramid's geometry, a base of approximately 230.4 meters per side, forming a near-perfect square, and an original height of 146, 6 meters before the capstone vanished. Divide the perimeter 921.6 meters by twice the height, and you arrive at 3.14159, an astonishing approximation of pi, the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter, a constant not formally defined until Archimedes centuries later. This isn't crude estimation. The accuracy is within 0.05%, far beyond chance or the practical math of Egyptian land surveys. The slope angle, about 51.84 degrees, embeds the golden ratio phi 1, 61803398887, a number revered in nature, from nautilus shells to galaxy spirals, appearing when you compare the slant height to half the base. These encodings go deeper, bridging the pyramid to the planet itself. Multiply the height by 43,200, a factor, not arbitrary, but derived from the precession of the equinoxes. Earth's axial wobble, completing a cycle every 25,920 years, and you get 6,356, 400 meters, eerily close to Earth's polar radius, 6,356,752 meters, within 99.7% accuracy. Scale the base perimeter similarly, and it approximates the equatorial circumference at 40,075 kilometers. Precession, a phenomenon requiring millennia of observation to detect, implies builders with astronomical prowess, rivaling modern telescopes, knowledge absent from Egyptian papyri, which focus on Nile floods and basic star tracking. The pyramid's true north alignment, within 0.05 degrees, demands understanding of Earth's magnetic field and rotation, concepts not documented until much later. This mathematical mastery suggests the pyramid as a time machine, not for physical travel, but for preserving universal truths through epochs of forgetting. Unlike fragile scrolls or mutable languages, geometry endures, pi and phi remain constant regardless of culture or catastrophe. The builders encoded these in stone to survive floods, invasions, or climate shifts, a curriculum for future societies rediscovering the cosmos. Numerology enthusiasts in 2025 take this further, claiming the dimensions prophesy events. The precession factor 40, 3,200, divided by sacred numbers like 7-2 degrees per zodiac age, yields cycles, aligning with apocalyptic predictions, solar maximums in 2030, or magnetic pole flips by 2040, disrupting technology as ancient warnings. Astronomical alignments amplify this temporal enigma. The air shafts from the King's Chamber point to Orion's belt in the south and Thuban, ancient pole star, in the north, as they appeared around 2450 BCE. But the Orion correlation theory, proposed by Robert Bauval, maps the three Giza pyramids to Orion's belt stars, Al-Nitak, Al-Nilam, Mintaka, with alignments perfect around 10,500 BCE during the Leo Age, when the Sphinx faced its zodiac twin at equinox. This predates Egyptian unification, hinting at a blueprint from a lost era, perhaps a stargate where constellations unlock portals. Recent 2025 AI simulations, using quantum computing to model stellar drift, confirm this alignment, suggesting the pyramid as a cosmic calendar, forecasting events like comet impacts or galactic alignments every 12,960 years, half a precession cycle. These codes defy time by embedding prophecies. Numerologists interpret the height 146.6 as a code for 144,000, the biblical number of saved souls plus adjustments for end times. In 2025 forums, enthusiasts claim the slopes-phi ratio predicts economic collapses or pandemics, mirroring Fibonacci sequences in market crashes. The pyramid's volume, over 2.5 million cubic meters, scaled by precession, yields solar system distances, implying heliocentric knowledge predating Copernicus. This time machine aspect positions Giza as a safeguard against amnesia. Its silence deliberate, no hieroglyphs to decay, just math speaking across millennia. Conspiracies swirl around suppression. Elites, fearing these codes reveal free energy or resurrection tech, block explorations. Tesla, inspired by pyramids, warned of misused power. His notes allegedly contain Giza decodings, seized to hide wireless grids. In 2025, leaked quantum analyses show shafts as waveguides for cosmic signals, perhaps communicating with Orion as a beacon for extraterrestrial return. Parallels abound. Stonehenge's solstice alignments encode precession. Baalbek's monoliths defy lifting without codes. Göbekli Tepe's pillars map stars 12,000 years ago. Yonaguni's submerged terraces, dated 10,000 BCE, feature angles mirroring Giza, suggesting a global mathematical language from a pre-flood world. As 2025 unfolds, with telescopes capturing Orion anomalies' unexplained flares aligning with pyramid prophecies, the codes beckon. Do they foretell doom or dawn? The numbers wait, defying time, urging decipherment before the cycle turns. But let's unravel more layers of these cosmic enigmas. The pyramid's apex, once capped in gold or electrum for conductivity, might have served as an antenna, tuning to Schumann resonances Earth's 7.83 Hz heartbeat for harmony with the universe. Numerologists in recent studies claim the base area, 53,056 square meters, encodes lunar cycles when multiplied by phi, predicting eclipses with eerie accuracy, as if the builders mapped time's flow to warn of celestial upheavals. The Queen's Chamber shafts, pointing to Sirius and Ursa Minor, embed binary codes in their lengths. Some theorists in 2025 AI decodings suggest fractal patterns mirroring DNA helices, implying genetic prophecies or star-seeded origins. Phi, the golden ratio, appears in the pyramid's cross-section, a self-replicating spiral seen in hurricanes and galaxies, symbolizing eternal recurrent cycles of creation and destruction the builders encoded to survive. Precession's 25,920-year Great Year divides into 12 zodiac ages, each 2,160 years. The pyramid's 43,200 Great Year, x 1.666, near phi scales micro to macro, from human lifespan to cosmic epochs. 2025 astrologers link this to Aquarius dawn, a shift from Pisces illusion to truth. With Giza as the key, its codes activating during this transition, perhaps resurrecting lost knowledge amid chaos. Orion's role deepens. As Osiris's constellation, its belt star's magnitudes match pyramid sizes, a stargate map where alignments open portals during equinoxes. Recent Hubble images of Orion Nebula show birthing stars, echoing resurrection themes, builders perhaps signaling homeworlds or warning of stellar events like Betelgeuse's supernova, timed with precession codes. Conspiracies claim elites decode these privately. Masonic rituals use phi for architecture, suppressing public access to prevent mass enlightenment. 2025 quantum computers simulate pyramid math, revealing prophecies of AI singularities or climate tipping points, guarded to maintain control. Global echoes. Nazca lines as scaled pyramid codes, visible from space. Easter Island moai aligned with precession. Angkor Wat's galleries encoding zodiac cycles. These form a planetary time machine, Giza the hub. As numbers defy time, questions eternalize. Are these codes a lifeline from the past or harbingers of end? The pyramid stands, its math timeless, awaiting those who dare calculate the future. Expanding the enigma, consider the half-base to height ratio yielding squat phi, a code for sacred geometry in crop circles. 2025 patterns near Giza mimic this, hinting at ongoing cosmic dialogue. The volume scaled by 10 circumflex 8 approximates the sun's mean radius, implying solar knowledge for energy or prophecy. Numerology ties 481-foot height, original, to 4 plus 8 plus 1 equals 13. Masonic number of transformation, with 13 levels in the unfinished pyramid symbol. Prophecies. Dimensions predict 2030 as a cycle end, aligning with solar activity peaks. The time machine preserves through catastrophe, floods erasing Atlantis, but codes enduring in stone, a universal language for rebirth. In 2025, AI deciphers shaft angles as binary for star coordinates, perhaps contacting Orion civilizations. Elites suppress. Fearing contact disrupts hierarchies. The cosmic codes pulse pi's infinity, phi's growth defying time, challenging us to unlock or perish in ignorance. What if, in the eternal stare of the Sphinx, its weathered stone face, scarred by rains that fell when the Sahara bloomed like a verdant paradise, the guardian of Giza conceals not just the body of a lion, but a portal to forgotten eras, where magnetic anomalies twist compasses into frenzy and psychic visions reveal buried time capsules pulsing with the echoes of a civilization that mastered time itself. Imagine a remote viewer in 2025, eyes closed in a trance, describing vivid halls beneath the pores filled with glowing artifacts, crystals that warp reality, scrolls etched with star maps, and then, abruptly, the session cuts off amid unexplained interference, as if the Sphinx itself repels intruders from unveiling its secrets. And what if these anomalies, detected by cutting-edge magnetometers, showing fields stronger than natural rock should allow, hint at the Sphinx as a living machine, its silent gaze, a deliberate veil hiding creators who chose anonymity to protect knowledge too dangerous for our world? Could the water erosion, carving deep furrows 7,000 years before pharaohs walked the Nile, prove it predates Egypt entirely, a relic of a lost age where portals linked dimensions? The gaze pierces deeper. If the Sphinx guards time capsules foretelling our future, why do modern explorations falter, and what cataclysmic truths does its silence withhold? Clasp that enigmatic stare, for the revelations are about to unfold, layer by shadowed layer. This unyielding gaze of the Sphinx, half human, half beast, forms the enigmatic core of Giza's oldest guardian, a monument that defies the tidy timelines of history, its origins shrouded in a silence that feels almost deliberate, as if crafted to outlast the very civilizations that claim it. Carved from the bedrock of the plateau, the Sphinx stretches 73 meters long and 20 meters high, its form a colossal riddle blending the intellect of man with the ferocity of a lion. Traditional Egyptology attributes it to Pharaoh Khafre of the 4th dynasty. Around 2500 BCE, a sentinel for his pyramid, its face supposedly mirroring his own. Yet, this narrative crumbles under scrutiny, for the Sphinx bears no inscriptions, no royal cartouches, no dedications praising its creator, a glaring omission in a culture where pharaohs etched their glory into every stone to ensure immortality. This anonymity whispers of a deeper purpose, a deliberate choice by builders who valued mystery over fame, perhaps knowing their era would fade, leaving the guardian to watch over forgotten truths. The erosion patterns on the Sphinx's enclosure walls tell a tale far older than Khafre's reign. In the early 1992nd, geologist Robert Schoch, a Yale-trained expert in rock weathering, examined the deep vertical fissures and undulating channels scarring the limestone marks not of abrasive desert winds, which carve horizontally over millennia, but of sustained heavy rainfall, flowing down like tears from a stormy sky. Schoch's analysis, backed by seismic refraction studies with Thomas Dobecki, dates these scars to between 7,000 and 5,000 BCE, during the tail end of the African humid period, when monsoons transformed the Sahara into a lush landscape of rivers and grasslands. This era predates the unification of Egypt by thousands of years, a time we label prehistoric, when humans supposedly huddled in simple settlements, not reshaping bedrock into monumental guardians aligned with the equinox sunrise. The pyramids and temples nearby show no such erosion, their sharper edges suggesting later construction, as if the Sphinx stood alone, ancient and weathered, when the pharaohs arrived to claim the plateau. This geological bombshell challenges everything, implying the Sphinx was carved by an unknown civilization, perhaps survivors of a cataclysm that erased their name from history. John Anthony West, the maverick Egyptologist who invited Schoch to Giza, proposed the Sphinx originally depicted a lion, its head recarved later into a human face, disproportionate and awkwardly small compared to the body. This leonine form would align with the zodiac age of Leo, from 10,800 to 8,800 BCE, when the Sphinx, facing east, would have gazed directly at the constellation Leo rising on the vernal equinox, a cosmic symmetry too precise for coincidence. West's theories, explored in his book Serpent in the Sky, suggest a sophisticated understanding of astronomy and symbolism, far beyond what we attribute to prehistoric peoples. The absence of inscriptions reinforces this. Pharaohs were boastful, covering monuments with hymns and victories, yet the Sphinx remains mute, its silence a cloak hiding creators who perhaps encoded their message in the stars rather than words. Psychic visions and remote viewing claims add an ethereal layer to the Sphinx's mysteries, painting it as a portal guardian over buried time capsules. Edgar Cayce, the renowned clairvoyant of the early 20th century, described in trance states a hall of records beneath the Sphinx's right paw, a vault containing Atlantean artifacts from 10,500 BCE, including crystals for energy manipulation, metallic scrolls on human origins, and devices prophesying future events. Cayce's readings, remarkably accurate in predicting archaeological finds like the Dead Sea Scrolls, pinpoint this hall as a triangular chamber accessible via a passage from the paw, guarded by mechanisms that activate only when humanity is ready. In 2025, remote viewing sessions conducted by groups like the Farsight Institute echo Cayce. Viewers report vivid impressions of underground complexes with humming energies, metallic walls inscribed with unknown scripts, and capsules pulsing with light, as if preserving knowledge from a drowned world. One session in April 2025 described a time lock mechanism, a crystal matrix that warps perception, causing disorientation in intruders, perhaps explaining why official digs falter. Anomalous magnetic fields around the Sphinx deepen this portal narrative. Magnetometer surveys in recent years, including a 2024 study by an independent team, detect irregular electromagnetic fluctuations beneath the pores field stronger than surrounding limestone, suggesting artificial constructs or metallic deposits. These anomalies interfere with equipment, causing compasses to spin wildly and electronics to glitch, as reported by tourists and researchers alike. In March 2025, a viral video captured a drone malfunctioning mid-flight over the Sphinx, spiraling out of control amid static bursts, fueling speculation of a protective energy shield. Some theorists link this to ley lines Earth's geomagnetic grid converging at Giza, with the Sphinx as a nexus point amplifying natural forces. Remote viewers in 2025 sessions claim these fields create portal effects, where time dilates or visions of ancient eras flash before the mind's eye, hinting at the Sphinx as a gateway to other dimensions or timelines. The Sphinx's deliberate anonymity ties into these enigmas, suggesting builders who shunned fame to protect sacred knowledge. Unlike every other Egyptian monument, temples etched with battle scenes, statues proclaiming divine kingship, the Sphinx offers no name, no dedication, no clue to its purpose. This silence feels intentional, a strategy to endure forgetting. Words fade with languages, but form and alignment persist. The equinox alignment, where the sun rises directly between the Sphinx's paws twice a year, symbolizes renewal, perhaps a ritual trigger for the buried capsules. In psychic accounts, the creator's Atlantean refugees or starfaring ancients chose this to ensure only those attuned to cosmic rhythms could access the truths below. Expanding on erosion evidence, Shock's 2025 updates incorporate new climate models showing intense rainfall spikes around 7000 BCE, correlating with global flood myths. Core samples from the enclosure reveal pollen from extinct plants, painting a picture of a green Sahara where advanced settlements thrived, their knowledge lost in the desertification that followed. The Sphinx's body, disproportionately eroded compared to the head, supports recarving theories. The lion form weathered for millennia before dynastic Egyptians reshaped it, perhaps to claim it as their own. Psychic visions evolve in 2025. The Monroe Institute's Hemi-Sync programs report viewers accessing Akashic records via the Sphinx, describing libraries of light where holographic projections detail lost technologies, levitation devices, healing frequencies, and star navigation. One session claimed a guardian entity, a spectral lion, repels unworthy seekers, manifesting as magnetic disturbances. Anomalies include unexplained sounds. In 2025 equinox events, witnesses report low hums emanating from the pores, vibrating the ground like a subtle earthquake. Seismographs detect micro-tremors aligned with lunar cycles, suggesting the Sphinx as a tuned instrument, its form amplifying Earth's resonances. No inscriptions underscore forgotten eras. Perhaps the builders, aware of impending doom comet impacts or solar flares encoded in alignments opted for geometric language, the Sphinx's proportions embedding phi and pi subtly. Links to underground. 2025 muon scans show voids beneath the pores, L-shaped passages leading to cube chambers, time capsules. Remote viewers describe seals breaking in visions, releasing knowledge amid global shifts. The gaze's silence guards eras where humanity rose and fell. The Sphinx a bridge to those lost worlds. What visions await if we listen? The anomalies beckon magnetic fields, psychic echoes, erosion scars, all converging on truths too profound to voice. But the Sphinx's enigmas extend further, intertwining with global mysteries that amplify its forgotten origins. In Turkey's Göbekli Tepe, pillars from 9,600 BCE bear carvings of lions and stars, mirroring the Sphinx's leonine form and astronomical alignments, a shared symbolism from a pre-flood world. Yonaguni's submerged ruins off Japan, with lion-like terraces dated to 10,000 BCE, suggest a network of guardians, their silent gazes watching over sunken secrets. These sites, like the Sphinx, lack writings, their anonymity, a universal code for survival through silence. In 2025, augmented reality apps overlay the Sphinx with its original lion head, revealing proportions that align with Leo's stars. Sparking viral debates on social media, users report glitches in AR sessions near Giza, where the virtual image flickers with unexplained light, as if interfacing with real magnetic fields. Psychic claims intensify. The CIA's declassified Stargate project from the 1972nd included remote views of the Sphinx, describing energy barriers and time vaults holding artifacts from 12,000 years ago. Modern viewers in 2025, using VR-enhanced trances, report encounters with light beings, guardians imparting warnings of climate cycles, mirroring the Sahara's drying prophecies of water scarcity, and migrations echoing ancient floods. Magnetic anomalies draw scientific scrutiny. A 2025 Geophysical Research Letters paper notes field strengths 20% above baseline, suggesting ferromagnetic materials buried below, perhaps meteoritic iron from ancient impacts, or artificial alloys in time capsules. Tour guides whisper of phones draining instantly near the pores, electronics failing as if sapped by an invisible force. The deliberate anonymity provokes profound questions. Were the creators a priestly order, vow-bound to secrecy, encoding knowledge in the Sphinx's form, the body-to-head ratio approximating SQR2, a code for sacred geometry? Or extraterrestrials, leaving no trace to avoid interference, their gaze a watchful sentinel? Erosion's tale unfolds with new data. Satellite imagery in 2025 shows ancient riverbeds channeling rainwater around the Sphinx, carving channels that match models of 7,000 BCE monsoons. Pollen analysis from sediments reveals flora extinct for millennia, hinting at a cradle of life where forgotten peoples harnessed nature's forces. Visions of time capsules tantalize. Casey, like prophecies, describe 3 halls, one Atlantean, one Egyptian, one future with crystals activating during equinoxes, projecting holograms of lost history. A 2025 remote viewing collective claims to have unlocked a capsule mentally, revealing maps of pre-Ice Age continents, warnings of pole shifts by 2040. The Sphinx's gaze, silent yet eloquent, guards these eras forgotten but not lost, waiting for the worthy to decipher its stare. What portals open if we meet its eyes? The anomaly's erosion, fields, visions converge, urging us to remember before time claims us anew. Expanding the Guardian's lore, consider its astronomical precision. The Sphinx's alignment with the equinox sun creates a solar crown effect twice yearly, illuminating its face as if awakening. In 10,500 BCE, this would have coincided with Leo's rise. A cosmic key, perhaps unlocking buried mechanisms, magnetic locks responding to solar flares. Psychic sessions in 2025 incorporate biofeedback, viewers' brainwaves syncing with 110 Hz resonances measured near the Sphinx, inducing visions of ancient ceremonies where the Guardian spoke through vibrations, imparting knowledge to initiates. Anomalies include thermal imaging. Infrared scans show cooler zones under the pores, suggesting hollows or insulated capsules preserving artifacts from heat. A 2025 expedition, briefly permitted before cancellation, detected radon gas leaks indicators of underground voids. No inscriptions invite speculation, perhaps quantum entanglement, the Sphinx's form linking to distant sites like the Cambodian Sphinx, like ruins, sharing information instantaneously. The silent gaze endures, a portal to eras where humanity danced with stars, its secrets veiled yet vibrant, challenging us to look beyond the sand. In recent explorations, ground-penetrating radar in 2025 maps anomalies extending 100 meters deep, networks of passages perhaps leading to Casey's halls. Viewers describe guardians as energy forms, repelling with fields that cause nausea or visions nature's or tech's defense. The erosion narrative evolves with climate simulations. 7,000 BCE rains, intensified by orbital shifts, sculpted the Sphinx as a water harvesting symbol, its gaze directing flows to underground aquifers now dry. Psychic claims cross cultures. Native American shamans in 2025 collaborations view the Sphinx as a world navel, linking to their lion spirits, capsules holding seeds of renewal for global healing. Magnetic fields tie to health. Visitors report Sphinx syndrome euphoria or insights near the site, attributed to geomagnetic stimulation, enhancing brain function. The anonymity's purpose, builders, foreseeing amnesia, made the Sphinx a riddle. Its solution unlocking capsules solve the gaze, claim the eras. As 2025 revelations mount, with whispers of artifact glimpses in sealed scans, glowing orbs or metallic spheres, the Sphinx beckons. Its gaze, guardian of forgotten eras, silent yet screaming, remember, or repeat the oblivion. The plateau's winds carry echoes of those eras, where advanced souls sculpted the Sphinx as a time anchor, its form defying decay. What forgotten wisdom awaits in its shadow? The questions gaze back, unblinking. Close your eyes, let the whispers carry you, and remember, if these questions haunt your dreams, hit subscribe to join us for the revelations yet to come. What if, in the throbbing core of the Great Pyramid, where the king's chamber suddenly ignites with a surge of resonant energy, its granite walls vibrating like a colossal tuning fork, as hidden voids below pulse with anti-gravity fields that lift ancient artifacts into ethereal suspension, the true purpose explodes into view, not as a dusty tomb, but as a living laboratory for experiments that could defy physics and rewrite reality. Imagine a team of rogue scientists in 2025, defying elite blockades to breach a sealed shaft, revealed by muon tomography, only to witness levitating orbs and humming crystals, activating long-dormant mechanisms, unleashing waves that warp time and space, threatening to collapse the chamber in a cataclysm of unleashed power. And what if these voids, sprawling like a subterranean city 2 kilometers deep, with L-shaped corridors and cube-shaped halls filled with metallic signatures, were engineered not for burial but for anti-gravity propulsion, harnessing Earth's core energies to propel crafts or even bend gravity itself? Technologies elites have suppressed to maintain control over flight and energy. Could the pyramid's empty sarcophagus be a control station for these experiments? Its acoustics amplifying frequencies that induce zero-point energy, solving humanity's crises or dooming us if mishandled. The vibrations intensify. If the pyramid transcends a tomb, why do worldwide parallels echo this purpose? And what forbidden experiments await activation in its depths? Seize that gravitational pull, for the truths are about to levitate into the light. This shattering revelation that the Great Pyramid transcends its role as a mere tomb and embodies a profound, multifaceted purpose, strips away the veils of conventional history, exposing a structure pulsing with intent far beyond pharaonic vanity. For millennia, we've been fed the narrative of the pyramid as Khufu's eternal resting place, a 4th dynasty monument around 2580 BCE, brimming with the trappings of the afterlife. Yet, the evidence, or lack thereof, paints a starkly different picture. No mummy ever found, no grave goods scattered in disarray, no lid on the so-called sarcophagus in the king's chamber, and not a single hieroglyph adorning its walls with spells from the Book of the Dead or scenes of divine judgment. Egyptian tombs overflow with such details: vibrant murals of feasts and gods, canopic jars safeguarding organs, shabti figurines to serve in the beyond. Even modest noble burials burst with personal relics, yet the mightiest pyramid stands eerily vacant, its chambers pristine, as if never disturbed by robbers or rituals. This emptiness isn't the mark of looting. No chisel scars mar the entrances, no debris litters the passages, no seals lie broken. It's as if the pyramid was sealed without a body, its purpose never tied to death but to something alive, dynamic, eternal. The acoustic designs woven into the pyramid's fabric hint at this vitality, transforming it into a resonance machine for rituals or energy manipulation. The king's chamber, with its precise dimensions 10 meters long, 5 meters wide, 5.8 meters high, amplifies sounds in extraordinary ways. A low chant at 110 Hz creates standing waves that linger, vibrating the granite and inducing altered states of consciousness, from deep trances to euphoric visions. Researchers in modern experiments report these frequencies aligning brainwaves with theta states, ideal for meditation or shamanic journeys, perhaps ancient rituals where priests harnessed sound to connect with cosmic forces or heal the body. The granite, dense with quartz crystals, exhibits piezoelectric properties, generating electric charges under vibration, turning the chamber into a natural battery. Imagine priests intoning sacred tones, the pyramid humming in response, channeling energy for enlightenment or power. The Grand Gallery, with its corbelled ceiling stepping upward like an acoustic amplifier, might have funneled these waves, creating harmonic cascades that resonated through the entire structure. But the true climax lies in the voids uncovered by muon tomography cosmic ray mapping that peers through stone without a single chisel stroke, revealing hidden labs for ancient experiments that boggle the mind. In 2025, scans have unveiled a sprawling subterranean network, a 30-meter void hovering above the Grand Gallery, L-shaped corridors snaking beneath the plateau, and cube-shaped chambers 2 kilometers deep, forming what some call a hidden city pulsating with potential. These aren't random cavities but engineered spaces, their geometries suggesting deliberate design for containment or amplification. Theories abound that these voids housed anti-gravity experiments, where ancient engineers, perhaps inheriting Atlantean knowledge, manipulated electromagnetic fields to nullify weight, levitating massive blocks during construction, or even propelling vessels skyward. Metallic signatures detected in the scans hint at alloys unknown to us, perhaps conductive materials forming coils or capacitors for gravity warping devices. Imagine the pyramid as a test bed, pulses of energy surging through quartz veins, creating fields that bend space-time, allowing objects to float or portals to flicker open during equinox alignments. Comparisons to non-tomb theories worldwide illuminate this purpose, revealing Giza as part of a global tapestry of enigmatic structures defying burial explanations. Stonehenge in England, its massive sarsens aligned with solstices, resonates at frequencies inducing visions, much like Giza's chambers, perhaps an acoustic observatory for celestial energies rather than a grave. In Peru, the Gate of the Sun at Tiwanaku boasts precision cuts impossible with bronze tools, its carvings depicting figures in anti-gravity poses, echoing theories of levitation tech shared across oceans. Pumapunku's interlocked andesite blocks, weighing tons yet fitted without mortar, suggest experimental labs for material manipulation, their ruins hinting at catastrophic failures like those speculated in Giza's scorch-marked galleries. Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, 12,000 years old with T-shaped pillars carved in bas-relief, lacks any burial evidence, its astronomical alignments mirroring Giza's a ritual site for energy rituals or star communications, not death rites. Yonaguni's submerged terraces off Japan, terraced like underwater pyramids from 10,000 BCE, feature anomalies defying natural formation, perhaps anti-gravity test grounds lost to rising seas. These parallels underscore the pyramid's role as an energy nexus, or experimental hub, its voids as labs where ancients probed anti-gravity Gravity's Frontiers. In 2025, whispers of black-budget ops echo this. Leaked reports describe teams probing Giza's depths, encountering fields that levitate equipment or distort time watches running backward, shadows lengthening unnaturally. The sarcophagus in the king's chamber, too narrow for a full coffin and unadorned, might have been a control pod, where operators later interface with the system, their minds amplified by resonances to manipulate gravity waves. Theories posit the pyramid tapped Earth's telluric currents, geomagnetic flows along ley lines converging at Giza to fuel experiments, wireless power beaming to distant obelisks or cities. The absence of burial trappings reinforces this. No resins for mummification stain the stone, no offerings clutter the floors, no prayers invoke the afterlife. Instead, the pyramid's precision leveled to 2 centimeters across 13 acres suggests a machine calibrated for delicate operations, where vibrations or fields required absolute stability. Anti-gravity implications tantalize. If the builders lifted 80-ton blocks effortlessly, why not apply it to flight or transport? Echoes in Hindu Vimanas or Sumerian flying gods. Worldwide, non-tomb sites like Baalbek's Trilithon's 1,200-ton stones moved without ramps imply shared tech, perhaps disseminated from Giza's labs before a global cataclysm sealed them. In 2025's muon revelations, the hidden city below sprawls with corridors linking pyramids, chambers glowing in scans with unexplained heat signatures, active experiments lingering. Theorists claim elites suppress this, fearing anti-gravity would revolutionize travel, ending oil dependencies and hierarchies. Comparisons to Chichen Itza's pyramid, with its acoustic echoes mimicking Quetzal birds, or Teotihuacan's mica-lined chambers conducting electricity, paint a picture of ancient experimental networks. Giza, the pinnacle. The pyramid's purpose surges beyond death, a beacon of innovation, its voids, labs birthing wonders or warnings. What experiments echo in its silence, ready to reshape our world or unravel it? The stone's tremble activation nears, challenging us to embrace or fear the beyond. But the pyramid's enigmas cascade further, intertwining with acoustic marvels that amplify its non-tomb essence. The subterranean chamber, rough-hewn and unfinished, resonates with infrasound frequencies below human hearing that induce fear or awe, perhaps a security system for the labs above. In experiments, volunteers exposed to these waves report hallucinations of ancient rites, as if the pyramid stores memories in vibrations. Muon voids in 2025 scans show geometric precision, cubes 80 meters wide, perhaps zero-gravity chambers where anti-gravity fields suspended subjects for astral travel or material testing. Metallic echoes suggest machinery coils or resonators for gravity manipulation, tying to Tesla's ether theories suppressed in his era. Worldwide echoes. Malta's hypogeum chambers induce bone, conducted sound for altered states, non-burial sites experimenting with consciousness. Peru's Nazca lines, visible from air, perhaps anti-gravity flight paths. Easter Island's Moai, toppled in quakes, aligned for energy flows without tombs. The pyramid's emptiness mocks tomb theories. Sarcophagus granite from Aswan, conductive for energy, not coffins. No lid suggests a removable component in experiments, perhaps a crystal insert for amplification. Anti-gravity theories evolve. 2025 physicists model pyramid fields nullifying weight via sonic levitation, waves reducing friction to float stones explaining construction without ramps. Comparisons to Angkor Wat's bas-reliefs depict flying machines, non-tomb complexes for tech rituals. Machu Picchu's Intihuatana stone, a solar clock, echoes Giza's alignments without burials. The purpose crystallizes, beyond tomb, a hub for gravity, defying experiments, voids as labs birthing flight or energy. What breakthroughs await in the depths? The pyramid challenges embrace the beyond, or remain grounded in illusion. Expanding further, the Queen's Chamber's shafts, once thought for ventilation, end indoors with copper handles conductive for electromagnetic experiments, perhaps charging anti-gravity devices. Gantenbrink's 1993 robot, found one such door, but exploration halted, fueling suppression claims. In global non-tomb parallels, Serbia's Vinča culture mounds from 5700 BCE show advanced metallurgy without graves, experimental forges akin to pyramid energies. India's Dolavira water systems mirror potential hydraulic lifts in Giza shafts. Non-burial engineering marvels. The pyramid's true purpose pulses, acoustic energies in chambers for ritual transcendence, voids as anti-gravity labs testing limits of reality. Worldwide echoes affirm structures for innovation, not interment. As 2025 scans peel layers, metallic hums from depth suggest active remnants, experiments ongoing in silence. The pyramid beckons. Unlock the beyond, or let tombs' lies bind us. The climax builds. Voids birthing anti-gravity waves that could lift humanity or crush it under elite control. The purpose unveiled lab of wonders, guardian of errors. What if, in the fractured limestone of the inventory, Stelae its edges worn not just by time but by deliberate hands that chipped away forbidden truths, a hidden inscription once named the true builders of the Sphinx and pyramids, not as pharaohs of the Nile, but as enigmatic elders from a shattered world, their legacy scrubbed to conceal gods older than Ra himself? Imagine the scene unfolding in 1858, as French archaeologist Auguste Mariette unearths the slab near the Sphinx, his lantern flickering over hieroglyphs that rewrite history. Khufu, the mighty king, not crafting these wonders but kneeling in reverence to restore them, clearing sands that had buried them for eons. But then, in a twist of fate or foul play, key sections vanish, broken off in antiquity, perhaps by priestly orders sworn to secrecy, hiding revelations of pre-pharaonic deities who walked the Green Sahara, their powers echoing in the dream stealer's divine whisper to Thutmose IV. And what if these stelae, now gathering dust in Cairo's museums, hold codes that could unlock underground vaults pulsing with lost energies, vaults that 2025 scans desperately try to map before elites intervene? Could the reverence in these stones imply inheritance from celestial or Atlantean elders, their stories censored to preserve a fragile dynasty's illusion of divinity? The fragments haunt us. If Khufu and Thutmose were mere restorers, not builders, why the orchestrated silence? And what elder gods demand we forget their names? Grasp that shattered revelation, for the Stelae's whispers are about to resound, unveiling layers of concealment that span millennia. These ancient slabs, the inventory and dream stelae, stand as cryptic testaments to a history rewritten, their words not boasting of creation but humbly acknowledging restoration, a narrative that upends the grandeur of Egyptian kingship and points to forgotten eras where Giza's monuments already loomed as sacred relics. The inventory stela, discovered in 1858 by Auguste Mariette, amid the debris at the Sphinx's base, is a modest limestone plaque, its surface etched with hieroglyphs that diverge sharply from the bombastic propaganda of pharaonic inscriptions. Unlike the triumphant cartouches on temples proclaiming victories over chaos or divine mandates from the gods, this stela speaks in tones of deference. Khufu, ruler of Upper and Lower Egypt, arrives at a Sphinx already ancient, buried in dunes that choked its form. He doesn't claim authorship. Instead, he organizes its unearthing, clears the sands, and erects temples nearby to honor its guardian essence. The text reveres Isis as mistress of the pyramid, a goddess of magic and creation rarely tied to specific monuments, suggesting the structures held mystical significance, predating Khufu's dynasty, perhaps echoes of elder deities from a time when the Sahara teemed with life. Rivers flowed where deserts now scorch, and a civilization unnamed by history wielded powers we can scarcely fathom. This reverence implies inheritance, not invention. Khufu as a pilgrim, not a pioneer, kneeling before wonders he couldn't replicate. The stela details offerings of gold, incense, and shrines, but curiously omits who first carved the Sphinx or raised the pyramid's absences that feel calculated, as if the scribes knew revealing the true builders would unravel the divine authority of Egypt's kings. Egyptologists dismiss the inventory stela as late-period propaganda from the 26th dynasty, over 2,000 years after Khufu, a fabrication by priests to bolster political legitimacy. Yet, this explanation rings hollow. Why invent a tale that diminishes a legendary pharaoh, portraying him as a caretaker rather than creator? Egyptian myth-making exalted rulers, linking them to gods like Horus or Osiris, not reducing them to restorers of older glories. The Stela's tone reverent, almost awestruck, suggests a kernel of truth, a whispered memory of pre-pharaonic elders whose gods predated the pantheon of Thebes and Memphis, perhaps starborn entities or Atlantean sages who infused the stones with cosmic energies. The missing sections of the stela fuel conspiracies of censorship. Its broken edges, clean and deliberate, hint at antiquity's vandals' priestly orders guarding forbidden knowledge. Imagine secretive cults, descendants of those elders, chiseling away names and dates to prevent unworthy eyes from invoking ancient powers. In 2025, digital reconstructions using AI on high-res scans of the stela suggest lost glyphs depicting celestial beings descending to the plateau, their forms lion-headed like the original Sphinx, imparting blueprints for the monuments. These hypothetical restorations, circulated on underground forums, tie to global myths of elder gods, Sumerian Anunnaki shaping ziggurats, Hindu devas crafting vimanas, all inheriting from a primordial source. The stela's reverence for Isis as pyramid mistress might veil an elder goddess, a pre-dynastic matriarch whose magic wove the stones, her cult suppressed by patriarchal pharaohs to consolidate power. The dream stela, erected between the Sphinx's paws around 1400 BCE by Thutmose IV, echoes this theme of restoration amid forgetting. This red granite slab recounts a prince's hunting expedition on the Giza plateau, where he rests in the Sphinx's shadow, its body buried in sand, only the head protruding like a forgotten sentinel. In a dream, the Sphinx speaks as Hora-Makhet, the horizon god, lamenting its neglect, sands filling its throat, its vigil unacknowledged for generations. It promises Thutmose the throne if he clears the dunes and revives its worship, a bargain fulfilled when the prince becomes pharaoh, excavating the monument and establishing priesthoods. The stela's intimate details, the sand's texture, the excavation's hardships lend authenticity, unusual for royal propaganda focused on divine favor rather than logistics. Yet, its upper third is missing, a clean break, suggesting deliberate removal, perhaps erasing the Sphinx's true name or builder, a pre-pharaonic god whose revelation would undermine the dynasty. This forgetting within 800 years of Khafre's alleged creation baffles. Egypt obsessively recorded history, preserving king lists and deeds on papyrus and stone. How could the Sphinx, central to Giza's sacred landscape, vanish from memory, its cult dissolved? The dream stela's plaintive tone, the god's loneliness, its plea for remembrance feels genuine, a cry from an entity older than Egypt, demanding revival from a prince who stumbled into its presence. Conspiracies whisper of priestly orders hiding pre-pharaonic gods, secret societies, guardians of elder lore, censoring Stelae to prevent invoking deities whose powers resurrection, energy manipulation, threatened pharaonic control. In 2025, esoteric groups claim the missing Dream Stela section named the Elders of the Horizon, starfaring beings who built the Sphinx as a guardian for their portals, their reverence implying inheritance from cosmic mentors. The Stelae's implications cascade. If Khufu and Thutmose were restorers, Giza's monuments belong to forgotten eras, their true builders, elders whose gods predate Ra, perhaps Atlantean survivors, or extraterrestrial visitors, leaving relics that pulse with power. The inventory Stela's shrines to Isis hint at matriarchal cults suppressed, their magic woven into the stones. Global parallels abound. Mesopotamian texts describe kings restoring ziggurats built by the gods, inheriting divine architecture. In Mesoamerica, Maya stelae honor restorers of ancient pyramids, echoing censorship of elder knowledge. In 2025, AI analyses of stelae fragments suggest holographic encodings, glyphs aligning under UV light to reveal maps of underground vaults, tying to muon scans anomalies. Conspiracies claim priestly descendants. Modern secret societies guard these, hiding pre-pharaonic gods whose return could shatter illusions. The reverence in the stone speaks of elders whose legacy Khufu honored, not claimed a humility foreign to pharaohs, implying awe for superior beings. The dream stealer's vision, a god's desperate plea, underscores forgetting as deliberate, orders erasing elder gods to forge new myths. Questions resound. What censored histories lie in missing sections? And what powers do those priestly conspiracies conceal? The Stelae's whispers endure, restorers' tales unveiling inheritance from forgotten eras, urging us to reclaim the elder's gaze. But the Stelae's enigmas deepen with expanded lore. The inventory's reference to Isis as mistress evokes pre-dynastic cults where goddesses ruled creation, suppressed by solar gods like Ra, perhaps elder matriarchs whose magic built the Sphinx, their names chiseled away by patriarchal priests fearing female power. The dream stella's missing upper portion might have depicted the Sphinx's original form, a full lion with stellar eyes, aligning with Leo's age, a portal guardian for elder rituals. 2025 remote viewing sessions claim to read the absent glyphs, describing elders as luminous beings descending from Orion, imparting restoration knowledge to Thutmose in dreams. Conspiracies of priestly orders. Imagine initiatory cults like the Mysteries of Isis, hiding pre-pharaonic texts in temple vaults, censoring stelae to prevent invoking gods whose energies could flood the Nile or shift sands. These orders, evolving into hermetic societies, allegedly influence modern Egyptology, directing digs away from truths that could revive elder worship. Reverence implying inheritance. Khufu's actions building temples beside the Sphinx honor elders whose gods lingered in the stones, perhaps vibrational essences activating during equinoxes. The Stelae's tone, deferential and awed, contrasts boastful inscriptions, suggesting pharaohs as stewards of a legacy too vast to own. Global echoes. Inca stelae describe restorers of Machu Picchu, inheriting from elder sun gods. Chinese texts speak of emperors repairing ancient mounds built by immortals. These patterns suggest a worldwide tradition of censorship, priestly guardians, hiding pre-cataclysm knowledge. In 2025, digital Stelae reconstructions using neural networks reveal potential hidden layers palimpsests under visible glyphs, perhaps elder scripts in proto-hieroglyphs, describing cosmic origins. The restorer's narrative unveils, not builders, but heirs to forgotten eras, their Stelae's silence a shield for elder gods, whose return whispers in the wind. What divine powers await invocation? The fragments call, urging remembrance before silence claims all. Expanding further, the inventory stealer's broken state invites speculation. Lab tests in 2025 on edge fractures show tool marks from antiquity, deliberate defacement by orders fearing the named builders, perhaps the Shining Ones, elder beings whose reverence Khufu paid with shrines, implying debt to superior intellects. The dream stealer's plea echoes elder loneliness, a god abandoned as dynasties rose, its vision to Thutmose, a call to revive pre-pharaonic cults suppressed for control. Priestesses of Isis, guardians of this law, might have formed secret orders, their knowledge fragmented in stelae to protect from misuse. Inheritance from elders. The Stelae's offerings, gold for sun gods, incense for stars, hint at cosmic reverence. Pharaohs as caretakers of elder tech embedded in stones, like resonant frequencies for healing or prophecy. Conspiracies deepen. Modern priestly descendants, Vatican archives or Masonic lodges, hoard unedited Stelae copies, hiding pre-pharaonic gods whose symbols adorn global power structures. The Stelae's tale restores history, restorers honoring forgotten eras, their silence a gateway to elder wisdom. Questions persist. What gods whisper in the breaks, and what inheritance awaits? As winds shift sands, the Stelae's fragments gleam, restorers' words bridging to elders whose eras beckon reclamation. What if, in the suffocating blackness of a flooded shaft, plunging 2 kilometers beneath the Giza plateau where ancient waters lap against spiral walls, etched with indecipherable runes, a submerged chamber suddenly awakens, its crystalline mechanisms humming to life as electromagnetic pulses ripple through the stone, revealing artifacts that float upward in defiance of gravity, guardians of a network that could rewrite energy, time, and human destiny. Imagine the terror of a clandestine 2025 expedition, defying official bans to descend into this labyrinth, announced just months ago as a vast underground city, 5 interconnected chambers near Khafre's pyramid, 8 cylindrical shafts, twisting 648 meters deep, 2 massive cubic cavities, 80 meters wide at their base, all linked by tunnels forming a coherent complex spanning nearly 2 kilometers, detected by advanced radar that pierced the sands like a divine eye. But as the divers approach, unexplained vibrations shake their gear, echoing whispers fill their helmets with voices from forgotten tongues, and shadows twist into forms that vanish when lights flicker, phenomena hinting at a living defense system, protecting secrets that could harness the Nile's ancient branches for transport or unleash cataclysms if disturbed. Could this network, dismissed by authorities as mere geological features, be the remnants of an elder civilization's infrastructure, portals to other realms, or power grids tapping Earth's core? The depths call out. If these chambers hide artifacts from before the floods, why the frantic suppression, and what horrors or wonders lurk in the flooded levels, waiting to surface? Dive into that abyssal pull, for the sands are parting, unveiling networks that bind the past to our precarious future. This subterranean enigma, buried beneath the timeless sands of Giza, forms a labyrinthine underworld that defies the surface world's narratives, a network of secret chambers and passages, whispering of purposes far beyond the tombs and temples we know. At its entrance lies the Osiris Shaft, a vertical tunnel near Khafre's causeway, plunging over 30 meters into the limestone bedrock, a descent that feels like a journey into another realm, far from the arid plateau above. Divided into 3 levels, each more mysterious than the last, the shaft begins with a narrow upper chamber, accessible only by specialized gear that squeezes through constricted passages, its walls smooth and unadorned, as if carved with tools that left no trace of effort. Descend further, and the second level greets you with groundwater, a murky barrier that floods the space, preserving whatever lies below in an eternal aquatic veil, but thwarting exploration with its cold, impenetrable depth. Whispers from divers who braved it in unauthorized 2025 probes speak of currents that tug unnaturally, as if guided by hidden mechanisms, and faint vibrations that resonate through the water, echoing like distant chants from a submerged ritual. The third level, deepest and most haunting, opens into a large room with 6 side niches, carved with precision that rivals the pyramid's masonry above a single team's work, tool marks consistent and deliberate, suggesting urgency or sacred focus. At its center sits a stone box, often mislabeled a sarcophagus, but empty of any burial traces, no resins, no fragments of linen, no stains of decomposition. Its acoustics are uncanny. Whispers carry across the room with crystalline clarity, while louder sounds muffle into oblivion, as if the space was engineered to shape sound itself, amplifying secrets and silencing intruders. Phenomena reported here intensify the mystery, echoing whispers that seem to emanate from the walls, unintelligible yet insistent, as if voices from forgotten eras linger in the stone. Unexplained vibrations that pulse rhythmically, syncing with lunar phases or equinoxes, causing water in the flooded levels to ripple without wind. These aren't mere echoes. 2025 seismic data leaks suggest micro-tremors originating from deeper networks, perhaps mechanical residues of ancient experiments or natural energies harnessed for ritual purposes. Historical reports amplify this underworld scope, painting a plateau hollowed by intent. In the 19th century, explorers like Ernest Alfred Wallace Budge described catacombs extending beyond tomb requirements, corridors with geometric patterns, stairways descending farther than any burial needed, chambers carved for purposes unknown. Napoleon's 1798 expedition mapped subterranean spaces connecting the pyramids and Sphinx, features filled with rubble as if sealed deliberately, clean passages maintained long after creation. These maps, archived in dusty libraries, vanished from official records, dismissed as exaggerations by colonial adventurers. Yet, 1,926 accounts by Herbert Eustace Winlock detailed similar voids, walled with precision, echoing with vibrations that unsettled teams. Across eras and cultures, these reports converge. A coordinated design beneath Giza, not natural caves, but infrastructure for rituals, storage, or survival. The 2025 radar revelations shatter skepticism, unveiling a network that dwarfs prior hints. An interdisciplinary team announced in March a vast complex 5 chambers near Caffrey's base, interconnected by corridors, 8 cylindrical shafts, each 648 meters deep, with spiral pathways for descent, 2 cubic cavities, 80 meters per side, as potential hubs, and tunnels weaving a coherent underground city spanning 2 kilometers. Using synthetic aperture radar from satellites, penetrating depths traditional tools couldn't. These findings suggest artificial construction, their geometry too regular for geology. Flooded levels dominate, waters preserving artifacts in anaerobic conditions, perhaps metallic relics or scrolls immune to decay, hidden since the Nile's ancient branches fed the plateau, allowing transport of massive stones or secret cargoes via subterranean canals linked to the river's lost arms. These Nile connections fuel transport conspiracies. Geological surveys show ancient branches snaking closer to Giza than today's river, perhaps engineered channels for floating barges laden with quartz crystals or elder artifacts, concealed to hide pre-pharaonic trade or migrations. In 2025 leaks, scans reveal tunnel mouths opening toward these paleo-Nile beds, suggesting a hydraulic system for moving goods or people undetected, a network for evasion during cataclysms that flooded the surface. Phenomena in these flooded zones terrify. Divers report bioluminescent glows, whispers bubbling up like voices from drowned souls, vibrations that propel objects through water without touch. One account from a black market expedition describes a chamber where water swirls in vortexes, echoing with chants that induce visions of ancient rituals, perhaps acoustic traps or energy fields guarding the depths. Suppression shadows these discoveries. The Egyptian authorities, echoing patterns from earlier parts, declare nothing there, revoking permits amid security concerns. Conspiracists whisper of elite interventions, UNESCO teams arriving unannounced, data seized, researchers vanishing. This network threatens narratives. If chambers predate pharaohs, holding artifacts from forgotten eras, levitation devices, star maps, power crystals, it upends history, revealing Egyptians as inheritors, not originators. Global powers fear this. Rockefeller, like foundations funding selective digs, suppressing finds that could unleash free energy or prove extraterrestrial origins, disrupting economies and faiths. Global parallels underscore the network's purpose. Malta's hypogeum, flooded chambers resonating with whispers for rituals. Peru's Nazca tunnels, underground aqueducts, with vibrations suggesting transport. Turkey's Derinkuyu, multi-level cities for thousands, hiding from cataclysms. Yonaguni's submerged passages, echoing Giza's flooded levels, hint at worldwide survival networks, sealed against floods that ended elder ages. In 2025, phenomena intensify. Viral videos capture ground tremors near the Osiris shaft, sands shifting as if breathing, whispers recorded on audio, analyzed as proto, languages predating Sumerian. Flooded levels hide artifacts, divers glimpse metallic glints, perhaps elder tools for Nile manipulation, conspiracies claiming governments dredge secretly for tech. The chamber's labyrinth beckons, rituals in acoustic niches, storage for time capsules, transport via Nile branches, all veiled in suppression. What networks pulse beneath, linking past to peril? The sands conceal, but vibrations reveal depths await, guardian of secrets that could illuminate or engulf. Expanding the abyss, consider the Osiris shaft's niches, 6 alcoves, perhaps altars for elder gods. Their acoustics, focusing whispers into prophecies, 2025 recordings analyzed as binaural beats inducing trances, revealing hidden knowledge. Radar voids in historical context. Napoleon's maps show sealed entrances, rubble as deliberate barriers against looters, or to contain energies vibrations that could trigger quakes if disturbed. Nile links. Ancient branches, mapped in 2025 satellite data, form underwater highways. Conspiracies of submerged barges carrying Atlantean relics, flooded to hide from invaders. Phenomena. Echoes as stone tape theory. Vibrations imprinting events, replays of ancient chants warning of floods, guiding worthy explorers. Suppression's motive. Chambers threatening with free energy grids or portals. Elites fearing mass empowerment. Global echoes. Cappadocia's underground cities with ventilation shafts like Giza's. Ritual chambers whispering winds. Mexico's Teotihuacan tunnels with mercury lakes for experiments. Vibrations echoing rituals. The network's purpose crystallizes. Beneath sands. Chambers for survival. Knowledge preservation. Transport forgotten infrastructure pulsing with life. As 2025 scans deepen, flooded artifacts gleam metallic spheres, rune-carved stones, whispers intensifying, vibrations shaking foundations. The labyrinth calls, descend, or let secrets drown. The depths expand. Osiris Shaft's empty box as resonance chamber. Vibrations sinking with Nile tides for hydraulic lifts, transporting to surface. Historical reports. Budge's catacombs with geometric seals, perhaps elder wards against intrusion. 2025 discoveries. Cubic cavities as hubs for energy distribution. L-shaped corridors for acoustic focusing. Whispers carrying codes. Conspiracies. Black ops extracting artifacts. Nile branches as escape routes for elites in crises. Phenomena. Bioluminescent fungi in floods, or artificial glows from crystals, visions of elder builders guiding explorers. The sands hide networks binding eras, chambers echoing with purpose rituals, storage, transport all beneath our feet, awaiting the brave. Expanding further, the shaft's flooded levels preserve organics, papyrus scrolls, wooden tools, artifacts from green Sahara eras, Nile branches allowing import of exotic materials for experiments. Vibrations as communication. 2025 apps decode them as binary, revealing coordinates for other sites. Global parallels. Vietnam's Cu-Chi tunnels for survival, but Giza's for esoteric knowledge. China's Xi'an pyramid mounds with underground mercury rivers mimicking Nile for immortality rituals. The secret chambers unveil networks for enlightenment, their flooded veils guarding forgotten power. What awaits in the echoes? The plateau trembles, descend into truth. What if, in the flickering glow of a 19th century collector's study, where the fragile Coptic scroll, unrolled for the first time in centuries, began to whisper of pyramids standing sentinel before human tongues shaped words, or the Nile carved its current path, a sudden inferno erupted, flames devouring the parchment in a blaze that silenced secrets capable of shattering our timeline, leaving only echoes of beacons of stone from an era when gods walked the green Sahara. Imagine the collector's horror as the fire, suspiciously timed and unnaturally fierce, reduced the artifact to ash, its revelations of a world predating language vanishing like mist at dawn, yet not before a frantic letter captured fragments. Structures built as vaults of memory, before rivers shifted and civilizations rose from dust. And what if this destruction, mirrored in the lost tomes of Alexandria's library on pre-flood builders, was no accident but a calculated strike in a chain of deliberate fires spanning millennia, orchestrated by shadowy guardians to erase evidence of geological cataclysms around 4000 BCE that drowned elder worlds? Could the scroll's whispers hint at a primordial tongue of symbols and vibrations, predating spoken language, inscribed by beings whose knowledge we inherit but dare not claim? The ashes stir. If these whispers survive in hidden echoes, why the relentless erasure, and what forbidden genesis do they guard from our grasping minds? Cling to that smouldering enigma, for the scroll's ghost is about to murmur anew, unveiling whispers that precede the dawn of speech. This haunting tale of the burned Coptic scroll forms a spectral bridge to eras before language. Its fleeting existence, a tantalizing glimpse into a history deliberately obscured, where the pyramids of Giza emerge not as Egyptian triumphs, but as relics from a whispered genesis lost to time's voracious fires. The story begins in the late 19th century, amid the antiquities trade that swept Europe like a fever dream, when a mysterious Coptic manuscript surfaced in the hands of a reclusive collector, its origins traced to a Coptic monastery nestled in the shadows of the Nile's ancient bends. Coptic, the final evolution of Egyptian language scripted in Greek letters, carried the weight of millennia, blending pharaonic wisdom with early Christian mysticism. This scroll, fragile and ink-faded, was said to have been safeguarded by monks for generations, a relic unearthed from hidden vaults where desert winds whispered of forgotten floods. The collector, a scholar of esoteric lore whose name fades into obscurity like the scroll itself, unrolled it with trembling hands, revealing text that defied comprehension. Descriptions of beacons of stone erected before the Nile altered its course, before humanity forged words to name the stars or rivers. It spoke of vaults of memory, structures aligned with celestial rhythms, built by unnamed artisans in a time when the Sahara bloomed with lakes and herds, a green cradle where settlements thrived under monsoon skies. The scroll claimed these beacons predated language itself, their purpose etched in symbols that vibrated with intent, perhaps a primordial communication through geometry and resonance, not spoken tongues. A monk, the scroll's last guardian, reportedly murmured to the collector, "Before the Nile changed, before words bound thoughts, the stones stood as whispers from the void." These fragments suggested a geological shift around 4000 BCE, when the African humid period abruptly ended, transforming lush landscapes into arid wastes, forcing migrations to the Nile where Egypt would later flourish. If true, the pyramids belonged to this prelingual world, their creation a symphony of unspoken knowledge, harmonics and alignments conveying truths that words could never capture. But fate or design intervened before translation could unfold. In a blaze that consumed the collector's study, the scroll perished, its flames suspiciously contained yet voracious, leaving no copies, no rubbings, only the monk's cryptic letter preserved in a secondary archive. This destruction echoes a pattern of erasure, paralleling the legendary burning of the Library of Alexandria in antiquity, a conflagration that devoured countless texts on pre-flood builders, volumes detailing elder civilizations, whose engineers harnessed rivers and stars before cataclysms reshaped the world. Ancient accounts, like those in Berosus's Babyloniaca, speak of pre-deluge kings safeguarding knowledge in stone vaults, much like the scroll's vaults of memory. The library's fires, whether by Caesar's siege in 48 BCE or later purges, are seen by conspiracists as deliberate acts to purge records of these elders' societies that predated Sumer and Egypt, their whispers of advanced hydrology and astronomy threatening the myths of rising empires. Conspiracies of deliberate fires weave through this narrative, a chain of incinerations designed to silence whispers from before language. The Coptic scroll's demise, in a private study far from war or accident, feels too convenient, perhaps ignited by agents of secretive orders, guardians of a veiled history, where prelingual eras held powers we must not reclaim. Parallels abound. The 391 CE destruction of Alexandria's Serapeum, housing remnants of the Great Library, ordered by Christian zealots, but rumored to target pagan texts on elder gods who spoke through vibrations, not voices. In the 16th century, Spanish conquistadors burned Maya codices on pre-creation builders, erasing elder tongues that predated speech with glyphs of pure symbol. Even in 2025, whispers on shadowed forums speak of digital fires, data wipes targeting scanned ancient papyri from Nile monasteries, fragments hinting at geological shifts where the river's meanders buried elder cities under silt, their stone beacons rising as warnings. These geological shifts around 4000 BCE tie the scroll's whispers to tangible cataclysms, Paleoclimate data from 2025 studies show the Nile's dramatic rerouting, its delta forming amid desertification that displaced populations, forcing them to the river's stable banks. Core samples reveal pollen from vanished forests, artifacts from settlements submerged or sand-buried. Their builders, perhaps the scroll's unnamed artisans, a people whose language was gesture and geometry, communicating through the land's rhythms. The scroll's beacons before the Nile changed aligns with this. Pyramids as markers for a shifting world, their alignments preserving star knowledge when rivers betrayed. The scroll's loss fits a conspiracy of erasure, fires as tools of elites, from ancient priests to modern archivists, burning evidence of pre-lingual worlds where humanity communed directly with nature's whispers, vibrational languages that bypassed words, tapping universal harmonies. In Alexandria's lost texts, accounts of builders who spoke to stones with sound waves, shaping them without tools, mirror the scroll's vaults. Deliberate fires ensured these whispers faded, preserving power for the few pharaohs claiming divine creation, empires building on stolen foundations. Implications cascade. The scroll's elders, inheriting from celestial or Atlantean sources, whispered of pyramids as conduits for pre-lingual wisdom, symbols etched before speech divided minds. Their legacy, in geological shifts, warns of cycles, humid periods yielding to deserts, languages rising from silence only to be burned away. In 2025, echoes resound. Leaked scans of Nile monastery vaults reveal charred fragments, AI reconstructions, whispering of beacons predating floods. Conspiracies claim Vatican or Masonic hordes hold unburned copies, guarding pre-flood on builders whose fires we repeat. The burned scroll's whispers linger, from before language, tying to shifts that reshaped worlds. What genesis do they guard, and why the flames? The ashes speak. Listen, before silence claims us. But the scroll's enigma unfurls further, intertwining with parallels that amplify its pre-lingual whispers. The Library of Alexandria, a beacon of knowledge housing 700,000 scrolls, burned multiple times by Julius Caesar. Christian mobs, Muslim conquerors, each fire suspiciously targeting esoteric sections on elder mythologies, texts describing builders who communicated through the language of birds, symbolic harmonies predating verbal speech. Berossus, the Babylonian priest, wrote of pre-flood kings receiving wisdom from aquatic beings, their records burned in later purges to erase non-human origins. In the scroll's context, these fires form a pattern, deliberate erasure to conceal geological truths. Around 4000 BCE, as the Nile shifted, mega-droughts collapsed. Old world societies, the Akkadian Empire, fell to dust storms, Indus Valley cities abandoned amid drying rivers. The scroll's beacons, standing before this, perhaps warned of these cycles. Their builders are pre-lingual people using megaliths as vibrational archives, stones speaking through resonances that conveyed knowledge without words. Conspiracies deepen. The 19th century fire, in a collector's study stocked with flammables yet isolated, suggests arson by agents of antiquarian societies, precursors to modern elites who traffic in suppressed artifacts. In 2025, digital analogues, cyber attacks on databases scanning Coptic texts, erasing fragments on stone whispers from pre-Nile eras. Forums buzz with theories of Vatican involvement, their archives holding unburned twins of the scroll, guarded by orders tracing to Alexandrian scholars who salvaged pre-flood lore. The scroll's ties to geological shifts. Sediment cores from 2025 show the Nile's meanders burying elder sites, their beacons, pyramids rising as landmarks for migrants. Prelingual communication, perhaps pictograms or frequencies, like whale songs or bird calls, conveying complex ideas through pattern and tone, lost as spoken language divided tribes. Implications for inheritance. The scroll's elders, perhaps star, descended or Atlantean, whispered of cosmic origins, pyramids as antennae for pre-verbal wisdom, aligning with stars to speak universal truths. Pharaohs, restoring them, inherited this, but silenced the source to claim divinity. Parallels persist. The burning of Persepolis by Alexander, destroying Zoroastrian texts on pre-flood mages, the Nazi book burnings targeting occult works on ancient whispers. Each fire erases elder tongues, preserving power for the present. In 2025, AI revives fragments. Neural networks reconstruct burned texts from photos, whispering of beacons vibrating with prelingual codes, activating during solstices. Conspiracies claim governments test these. Fires now digital to hide tests. The burned scrolls' whispers endure, from before language, binding geological cataclysms to elder legacies. What worlds do they evoke, and why the relentless flames? The embers glow heed the genesis, lest we burn anew. Expanding further, the scroll's content, per the monk's letter, detailed vaults where stones whispered memories through touch, a tactile language predating speech, elders communing with earth spirits via vibrations. Geological ties, shifts around 4000 BCE, triggered by axial tilts, drowned coastal realms, survivors inscribing whispers in pyramids as eternal vaults. Conspiracies of fires, Alexandria's as archetype, Julius Caesar's accident targeting Hermes Trismegistus's works on pre-flood alchemy, knowledge of transmuting matter without words. Medieval inquisitions burned grimoires echoing this, silencing elder echoes. Inheritance from elders, the scrolls beacons as gifts from celestial visitors, their prelingual wisdom in star alignments. Pharaohs restoring to tap diluted power, fearing full revelation. 2025 echoes. Virtual reconstructions on metaverse platforms simulate the scroll, users hearing whispers in VR, inducing visions of green Sahara cities where language was light and sound. The whispers from before language persist, burned yet burning, urging remembrance of elder genesis amid shifting sands. As flames of curiosity rise, the scroll's ghost murmurs, embrace the pre-verbal, or let silence devour the past. The enigma's depths, monks' words hint at beacons singing in winds, prelingual harmonies guiding builders. Geological cataclysms, Nile shifts buried elder whispers, pyramids as amplifiers preserving them. Conspiracies evolve. 19th century secret societies, like Golden Dawn, sought the scroll for occult rites, their fires purging rivals' copies. Inheritance, elders as Atlantean refugees, their whispers vibrational codes for healing or creation, inherited but fragmented by pharaohs. The burned scroll's legacy, whispers enduring, before language, echoing through time's fires. Close your eyes, let the whispers carry you, and remember, if these questions haunt your dreams, hit subscribe to join us for the revelations yet to come. What if, in the shadowed alignments of Stonehenge, where colossal sarsens, dragged from distant quarries through ancient mists, suddenly hum with an unearthly resonance during the solstice dawn, their vibrations syncing with ley lines that pulse across the globe like veins of forgotten power? A hidden grid activates, linking Giza's pyramids to Göbekli Tepe's enigmatic pillars and Baalbek's impossible monoliths in a symphony of energy that could illuminate the world or unravel it in cataclysmic fury. Imagine a clandestine network of researchers in 2025, tracing these lines on holographic maps that glow with electromagnetic data, uncovering that this Earth grid, crisscrossing sacred sites from Machu Picchu's sun-kissed terraces to Yonaguni's submerged ruins, forms a planetary web for communication or power, engineered by a lost civilization whose echoes whisper of flood survivors fleeing rising seas, their knowledge suppressed by elites fearing a resurgence that could topple modern thrones. And what if submerged anomalies off Alaska's coast, revealed in April 2025 as a 90-foot pyramid predating Giza by millennia, prove this grid's antiquity, its nodes activating during geomagnetic storms to beam messages across continents or harness zero-point energy? Could these mysteries beyond Giza, shared lost knowledge, etched in stone from Turkey to Peru, unveil a global conspiracy where ancient networks pulse with forbidden power, guarded by the same gatekeepers silencing Giza's voids? The echoes reverberate worldwide. If these sites form a unified grid, why the frantic cover-ups? And what cataclysmic forces awaken when the lines align? Seize that planetary pulse, for the global mysteries are about to resound, connecting dots across oceans and epochs in a chorus that defies isolation. These global echoes, mysteries radiating far beyond Giza's sands, weave a tapestry of interconnected enigmas where ancient sites across continents share uncanny parallels, lost knowledge preserved in stone, alignments that defy coincidence, and purposes that transcend local cultures, hinting at a unified, perhaps planetary design from a forgotten era. At the heart of this web lies Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, a 12,000-year-old complex unearthed in the 1992 that shatters timelines. Massive T-shaped pillars, some 20 tons, and carved with intricate reliefs of animals and abstract symbols, arranged in circles predating agriculture, pottery, or even settled villages. Built around 9600 BCE, at the dawn of the Holocene, Göbekli Tepe's builders moved megaliths without metals or wheels, aligning enclosures with celestial events like the solstice sun-piercing specific pillars. No burials clutter its grounds. Instead, it feels like a ritual hub, perhaps an observatory or energy nexus, where shamans communed with stars, their carvings depicting comets or floods that ended the Ice Age. Parallels to Giza abound. The Sphinx's water erosion dates to a similar wet epoch, and both sites lack inscriptions, their silence a shared code of anonymity. Theorists whisper Göbekli as a Giza outpost, survivors of a pre-flood world fleeing to high ground, their knowledge disseminated globally before amnesia set in. Ley lines amplify this connection, those invisible pathways of geomagnetic energy proposed by Alfred Watkins in 1921 as straight tracks linking prehistoric sites, but evolved in esoteric circles into conduits for Earth's vital forces, a planetary grid where nodes like Göbekli, Giza, and Stonehenge form acupuncture points on the globe's body. In 2025, advanced magnetometer surveys map these lines with precision, revealing elevated electromagnetic fields at intersections, pulsing in sync with solar flares or lunar phases. Conspiracists claim this grid was engineered for communication or power, ancient adepts traversing lines for instantaneous travel, or channeling energies for healing and prophecy. Giza sits at a major hub, its pyramid alignments mirroring Göbekli's stellar orientations, Orion's belt overlaying both, perhaps a stargate network where ley pulses activate portals during equinoxes. Phenomena at these nodes intrigue. At Stonehenge, visitors report time slips during alignments, shadows lengthening unnaturally as whispers fill the air. At Göbekli, excavations unearth bones, with elongated skulls, hinting at non-human influences or genetic experiments shared across sites. Stonehenge itself echoes Giza's mysteries, its trilithons up to 50 tons, dragged 150 miles, and erected around 2500 BCE, aligned with solstices where the sun crowns the heel stone at midsummer dawn. No tombs dominate. Instead, acoustic tests reveal the circle as a sound amplifier, low frequencies inducing trances like Giza's 110 Hz resonances. Ley lines converge here, linking to Avebury's circles and Silbury Hill, Europe's largest artificial mound, perhaps energy accumulators in the grid. 2025 drone surveys detect underground anomalies at Stonehenge, voids mirroring Giza's muon voids, perhaps chambers for ritual artifacts or power crystals. Conspiracies swirl of druidic orders, elder guardians suppressing digs, fearing activation could harness free energy, disrupting modern utilities. Phenomena abound. Crop circles near Stonehenge in 2025 mimic ley patterns, their geometries encoding pi and phi like Giza's codes, perhaps messages from the grid's architects or extraterrestrial overseers. Baalbek in Lebanon thunders with similar defiance, its Roman temple built atop megalithic foundations where trilithons, 3 stones each over 800 tons, form a platform that dwarfs Giza's blocks, moved from quarries miles away without roads or cranes. The stone of the pregnant woman, unfinished at 1,200 tons, lies nearby, its precision cuts suggesting tools beyond bronze. No burials mark the site. Instead, alignments with solstices and ley lines suggest an energy hub, perhaps anti-gravity labs where ancients experimented with levitation. 2025 seismic imaging reveals underground networks at Baalbek, tunnels linking to nearby sites with magnetic anomalies that disrupt electronics echoes of Giza's fields. Conspiracists tie this to Phoenician myths of gods descending to build, perhaps alien engineers sharing tech across the grid, suppressed by Roman conquerors who co-opted the site for Jupiter's temple, hiding its true power. Submerged sites like Yonaguni off Japan plunge the echoes deeper, terraced formations dated to 10,000 BCE resembling stepped pyramids, their right angles and streets defying natural erosion survivors of post-Ice Age floods that raised seas 400 feet. No tombs submerge here. Instead, alignments with solstices suggest observatories or portals, ley lines extending underwater to link with Pacific grids. Phenomena in 2025 dives. Divers report currents that guide them to carvings of animals mirroring Göbekli's, whispers bubbling from depths as if the stones speak. Off Alaska's coast, a 90-foot underwater pyramid revealed in April 2025 predates Giza, its structure echoing Yonaguni, perhaps a northern node in the grid, submerged when glaciers melted, survivors migrating to seed new sites. Machu Picchu in Peru resonates with these echoes, its terraces and Intihuatana stone aligned for solstices, no burials dominating but acoustics amplifying chants like Giza's chambers, perhaps energy rituals harnessing Andean ley lines. 2025 LiDAR scans uncover hidden networks beneath, tunnels with magnetic spikes, suggesting ancient power conduits. Nazca lines in Peru, massive geoglyphs visible only from air, align with ley lines and solstices, perhaps flight paths or energy diagrams linking to Giza's code's non-tomb mysteries etched on Earth scale. These global echoes, Göbekli's pillars, Stonehenge's circles, Baalbek's monoliths, Yonaguni's depths, share lost knowledge, astronomical precision, acoustic designs, ley convergences, all beyond local tech, hinting at a unified civilization's grid for communication or power. Conspiracies claim elites suppress this. Black Ops mapping the grid for control, fearing activation could unleash free energy or portals, ending dependencies. Phenomena worldwide, synchronized vibrations during equinoxes, whispers at nodes, magnetic storms aligning sites, echoes of a planetary symphony, Giza the conductor. In 2025, satellite data links these. Electromagnetic pulses traveling ley lines from Giza to Göbekli during flares, perhaps ancient warnings awakening. The grid stirs communication across echoes, power surging through mysteries beyond Giza. As echoes resound, questions amplify. What lost civilization wove this web, and what awakens when lines converge? The global mysteries pulse, binding continents in forgotten harmony. Expanding the chorus, consider Easter Island's Moai, statues gazing inland aligned with solstices, no tombs but ley connections, to Pacific grids, perhaps energy sentinels, their toppled forms silencing a network. Angkor Wat's galleries, encoding zodiac cycles like Giza's procession, resonate with water acoustics for rituals, underground tunnels linking to ley hubs. Teotihuacan's pyramids, mic-aligned for conductivity, echo Giza's quartz non-tomb experiments in energy, mercury pools as mirrors for star communication. Nazca's lines, intersecting leys, form geoglyph circuits, perhaps activating during alignments, whispers of aerial views hinting at flight tech shared globally. These echoes shared knowledge in stone, grids for power or prophecy, unveil a conspiracy, ancient networks suppressed to fragment humanity, elites hoarding connections. 2025 phenomena, synchronized orbs at sites during equinoxes, captured on drones, grid activations, echoes beyond Giza, calling us to reconnect. The mysteries converge. Ley pulses, lost echoes, global web waiting. What symphony plays when we listen? The echoes beyond Giza resound unite, or remain isolated in silence. Further resonances. Orkney's Maeshowe Mound, solstice, lit chambers whispering like Giza's shafts, no tombs, but acoustic portals on leys. Ireland's Newgrange, older than Giza, winter solstice beam illuminating carvings energy capture, shared with global sites. These parallels pulse with purpose. Communication grids where whispers travel lays, power harnessed from alignments. Conspiracies. Government's map for weaponization. 2025 black projects, testing grid activations, suppressing to prevent mass empowerment. The global echoes mystify. Beyond Giza, a world of interconnected wonders, lost knowledge beckoning reclamation. As 2025 alignments near, echoes intensify vibrations, syncing sites, mysteries unveiling the grid's true echo. The chorus builds, echoes from Göbekli to Yonaguni, mysteries beyond Giza weaving a planetary tale of shared, suppressed wisdom. What lost echoes call your name? The global mysteries await, listen to the grid's hum. What if, in the ethereal haze of a 2025 psychic trance where a remote viewer, eyes fluttering in a dimly lit room thousands of miles from Egypt, suddenly plunges into a vision of Giza's hidden voids, chambers that shimmer with iridescent light as time folds upon itself, revealing glimpses of ancient builders stepping through dimensional rifts only to vanish in swirling vortices? A modern revelation erupts, confirming Edgar Cayce's prophecies of a hall of records pulsing with forbidden knowledge. Imagine the viewer's gasp as the scene shifts. Muon scans penetrating the plateau's depths, illuminating vast cavities that warp instruments with anomalous energies, causing clocks to run backward and shadows to elongate unnaturally, as if the voids themselves are portals bleeding echoes from lost eras into our present. And what if these revelations, announced in hushed scientific papers amid 2025's escalating geomagnetic storms, prove the voids are not empty, but alive with mechanisms that induce temporal shifts? Visitors reporting déjà vu loops or fleeting apparitions of pharaonic figures during equinox alignments, hinting at experiments in time manipulation guarded by the same elites silencing global grids. Could Cayce's hall, teeming with crystals that replay holographic histories, be the key to unraveling dimensional conspiracies, where voids connect parallel realities or summon entities from before the floods? The visions intensify. If these modern revelations bridge psychic realms to physical voids, why the frantic denials, and what cataclysmic timelines bleed through if we peer too deeply? Embrace that temporal tremor, for the revelations are unfolding, merging mind's eye with machine's gaze, in a dance that defies the linear march of history. These psychic visions and hidden voids converge in a tapestry of modern revelations that peel back Giza's veils, exposing layers where the ethereal meets the empirical, and prophecies from a century ago align with cutting-edge scans to whisper of realities beyond our grasp. At the forefront stands Edgar Cayce, the sleeping prophet whose trance readings from the 1922nd to 1942nd painted vivid portraits of a hall of records entombed beneath the Sphinx, a triangular vault safeguarding Atlantean artifacts from 10,500 BCE, crystals humming with vibrational archives of human origins, metallic tablets etched with prophecies, and devices for manipulating time and energy. Cayce, in over 700 sessions, described this hall as a nexus of three chambers: one Egyptian, one Atlantean, one for future humanity, accessible via a passage from the Sphinx's right paw during a window of global awakening between 1936 and 1998. Skeptics dismissed him as a charlatan, but his accuracy in foreseeing events like the stock market crash or Dead Sea Scrolls discovery lends credence, and 2025's revelations breathe new life into his words. Muon tomography, the revolutionary technique using cosmic rays to map densities without excavation, has thrust Cayce's visions into the spotlight. In March 2025, an international team announced breakthroughs, vast L-shaped anomalies and cubic cavities beneath the plateau, extending 2 kilometers deep, forming what some dub a second hidden city. These voids, detected by muons raining from space like ethereal probes, show irregular shapes defying natural geology's straight edges, symmetrical forms suggesting artificial construction. A 30-meter chamber above the Grand Gallery in the Great Pyramid pulses with unexplained signatures, while a 9-meter corridor near the north face branches into networks that could lead to Casey's Hall. Seismic echoes in these spaces reveal micro-vibrations, syncing with lunar cycles, as if mechanisms lie dormant, awaiting activation. Debates rage on natural versus artificial origins. Geologists argue limestone fissures, but engineers counter with the void's precision angles too sharp, volumes too consistent for erosion. A 2025 paper in a geophysical journal notes density variations hinting at metallic inclusions, perhaps the crystals Casey described, capable of storing information in vibrational lattices. Psychic visions in modern contexts amplify these findings, blending clairvoyance with science in revelations that blur boundaries. The Farsight Institute's 2025 remote viewing project targeted Giza's voids. Viewers, trained in controlled protocols, reported consistent scenes, shimmering halls with holographic projections replaying ancient cataclysms, crystals emitting low hums that induce time distortions, where past and future overlap in fleeting montages. One session described a temporal echo in the voids, clocks desynchronizing, visions of builders from 10,500 BCE stepping through rifts, their forms flickering like glitches in reality. These align with visitor anecdotes tourists in 2025 Equinox tours reporting time slips near the Sphinx, where minutes stretch into hours or shadows replay historical events, from pharaonic processions to Atlantean floods. Conspiracists tie this to dimensional portals, voids as thin spots in spacetime, engineered by elders to access parallel timelines, guarded by energies that repel the unworthy with nausea or disorientation. Time travel anomalies emerge as the most chilling revelations, where psychic insights intersect with physical phenomena in voids that seem to bend chronology. In April 2025, a leaked report from a black-budget op described explorers in the Osiris shaft's flooded levels encountering chronal eddies, pockets where time accelerates or reverses, watches gaining hours or voices echoing future conversation. These echo Casey's warnings of the hall holding records of time, devices replaying histories or glimpsing futures. Remote viewers claim entities in the voids, spectral guardians impart warnings of impending shifts, like pole reversals by 2040 mirroring ancient floods. Debates on natural explanations falter. Quantum physicists in 2025 posit voids as micro-wormholes, amplified by Giza's geomagnetic nexus. But skeptics demand proof amid suppression data redacted, teams disbanded under security pretexts. Modern revelations in 2025 extend to global parallels, where psychic visions of similar voids at sites like Teotihuacan or Göbekli Tepe suggest a network of halls, interconnected portals preserving elder wisdom. Viewers report synchronized trances, visions at Giza linking to Yonaguni's underwater chambers, where time anomalies submerge divers in visions of Mu's Fall, a Pacific counterpart to Atlantis. Muon-like scans at these sites reveal cavities with metallic echoes, perhaps unified archives activated during alignments. Conspiracies shroud these. Elites, fearing revelations could unravel religions or economies, classify psychic projects like the CIA's Stargate, which in declassified files viewed Giza voids as dimensional gateways. In 2025, whistleblowers claimed governments test these, inducing shifts for espionage, spying on past events or futures, but accidents cause echo bleed, where historical figures appear in photos or voices haunt recordings. Natural versus artificial debates intensify. Geologists cite karst formations, but anomalies, consistent vibrations, psychic correlations suggest design. A 2025 study notes voids acoustics inducing theta waves, aligning with Casey's trance states, as if built for visionary access. Psychic visions reveal halls as libraries of light, holograms detailing human genesis from starseeds, warnings of cycles repeating every 12,000 years. Time anomalies, viewers slipping into past rituals, feeling elders' urgency to share before voids seal. These revelations bridge mind to matter, Casey's prophecies to muon maps, unveiling dimensions where time dissolves. What futures bleed through if we listen? The void's pulse revelations await, psychic and physical, in modern light. But the visions deepen with narrative echoes. A 2025 viewer, mid-trance, describes entering a void where time fractals branch, paths of alternate histories, worlds where Atlantis survived, or Egypt never rose guarded by entities pleading remembrance to avert our doom. Muon Data in June 2025 announces new voids under Menkaur's pyramid, cubic and resonant, echoing Casey's three chambers. Debates, artificial for energy storage, or natural amplified by quartz. Psychics claim the latter, voids tuned for visions. Time anomalies proliferate. Equinox 2025 reports of ghost tourists' figures in ancient garb vanishing on camera, temporal bleed from voids. Global psychic projects, collaborations viewing Teotihuacan's tunnels, visions syncing with Giza, shared halls of a planetary grid, portals for elder travel. Conspiracies. Governments weaponize this, inducing shifts for historical revisionism, suppressing to prevent mass access to futures. Natural, artificial. 2025 AI models simulate voids as man-made, geometry too perfect for chance. The revelations cascade. Psychic eyes piercing voids, muon rays mapping mysteries, time bending in modern glare. What dimensions unfold if we dare? The visions call heed the hall's echo. Expanding further, Casey's hall details. Crystals replaying Atlantis's fall. Metallic plates of prophecies fulfilled in our wars and tech. 2025 viewers download this, reporting insights on climate cycles mirroring 10,500 BCE. Muon missions, wheels turning for North Face corridor probes, but security halts. Conspiracies of elite previews hoarding knowledge. Time anomalies, witnesses near voids feel loops, reliving moments, perhaps experimental residues from elder tests. Debates rage, voids as cast versus labs. Casey's accuracy tips to artificial. Psychic modern fusion, VR, enhanced trances in 2025 sync with scan data, viewers navigating voids virtually, retrieving lost info. The revelations bridge realms, unveiling hidden voids as psychic gateways to time's tapestry. Listen, the whispers from depths reveal all. As visions merge with voids, questions eternalize. What revelations await in the hall's light? The modern age awakens psychic and probed, truths emerging from shadows. The enigma's pulse, Casey's prophecies, alive in 2025 scans. Time anomalies weaving past to present. Revelations unfold, hidden voids, psychic bridges, modern miracles defying denial. The hall beckons enter, or let time's veil fall anew. What if, in the sterile confines of a 2025 academic conference where smug Egyptologists, armed with carbon-dated fragments and 3D ramp simulations, smugly declare Giza's mysteries debunked as mere feats of human sweat and copper chisels, a lone whistleblower steps to the podium, their voice trembling as they unveil suppressed scans, showing voids that pulse with energies defying physics, only for the feed to cut abruptly amid a storm of denials and vanishing files. Imagine the chaos. Mainstream scholars waving away water erosion as wind whims or mathematical codes as coincidental quirks, yet failing to explain why blades sharpen overnight inside pyramid models, or why global anomalies mirror Giza's enigmas in ways that shatter their tidy timelines. And what if these debunkers, backed by institutional grants and elite strings, overlook whistleblower tales of hidden artifacts glowing with unnatural light during illicit digs, phenomena that persist like stubborn echoes, mocking their dismissals with razor-sharp persistence? Could the anomaly's endurance, despite ramps, tools, and dates, prove a deeper truth, where evidence outweighs speculation, forcing us to question if the real conspiracy is the debunking itself? The denials crumble. If mysteries outlast every counterargument, why do they endure? And what paradigm-shifting revelations await when we stop debunking and start believing? Grip that defiant persistence, for the unraveling of dismissals begins, exposing why the enigmas refuse to fade. This unyielding persistence of Giza's mysteries, despite relentless debunking by mainstream scholars, forms a defiant core that challenges the very foundations of accepted history. where counterarguments fall short against a barrage of anomalies that demand we balance evidence with the speculation they so eagerly dismiss. At the forefront stand the classic debunkings, the ramp theory, positing massive earthen slopes or internal spirals that allowed thousands of workers to haul 3 million blocks into place over 20 years. Proponents like Mark Lehner, drawing from the Diary of Mira, a papyrus detailing limestone transport via Nile barges, argue straight ramps, perhaps wrapping around the pyramid, solved the logistics. Yet, this crumbles under scrutiny. External ramps would require volumes of earth rivaling the pyramid itself, leaving no trace in the desert sands, while internal ones demand precision engineering mid-construction that strains copper tool capabilities. Experiments in 2025, using scaled models and AI simulations, show ramps collapsing under the weight of 80-ton granite beams from Aswan, 500 miles away. How did they maneuver these without cracking, let alone lift them 140 meters? The anomalies persist. Blocks fitted with sub-millimeter accuracy, no chisel marks on final surfaces, suggesting techniques like sonic levitation or chemical softening, dismissed as fantasy yet unexplained by ramps alone. Copper tools, the debunker's next pillar, are hailed as sufficient for quarrying and shaping limestone soft chisels hammered with dolerite pounders, edges sharpened on site. Carbon dating of worker camps reinforces this, pegging construction to Khufu's reign around 2580 BCE. But granite, the King's Chamber's core, ranks 7 on Mohs hardness scale, defying copper, 3 on Mohs. Modern recreations show tools blunting after minutes, unable to achieve the pyramid's polish or joints where not even paper slips through. Anomalies abound. Tubular drill holes in granite with spiral grooves, implying feeds per revolution far beyond hand tools, suggesting powered machinery. In 2025, metallurgical analyses of quarry marks reveal striations matching high-speed saws, yet debunkers wave this as natural veining. Why persist? Because evidence like the Merneptah stele mentions older structures, and anomalies like the pyramid's true north alignment, 0.05 degrees error, require gyroscopic knowledge absent from Copper Age tech. Whistleblower accounts in 2025 shatter the facade, revealing suppressed finds that debunk the debunkers from within. A former Supreme Council archaeologist, anonymously posting on encrypted forums, describes 2024 digs, uncovering metallic fragments in voids alloys unknown to science, glowing faintly under UV light, hastily confiscated amid national security orders. Another, a Muon team technician, leaks audio of vibrations in the Grand Gallery, causing equipment to levitate slightly during tests. Dismissed as seismic artifacts but mirroring anti-gravity phenomena reported at Baalbek. These tales echo older suppressions. Howard Weiss's 1837 discovery of Khufu's cartouche, accused of forgery with fresh paint in a sealed chamber, propping the timeline while ignoring pre-dynastic anomalies. Whistleblowers face ruin, jobs lost, threats whispered, but their persistence underscores why mysteries endure. Institutional bias silences dissent, yet leaks proliferate on platforms like X, where 2025 threads amass millions of views on Giza cover-ups, fueling public skepticism. Phenomena like the pyramid sharpening razors inside its models add tangible persistence, debunkers' dismissals notwithstanding. Since the 1942nd, experiments show dull blades regaining edges overnight in pyramid-shaped enclosures, attributed by some to focused energies or cosmic rays yet replicated worldwide. From Czech replicas, preserving food longer, to 2025 studies where plants grow 30% faster under pyramid frames. Debunkers cry placebo or humidity control, but controls fail to replicate without the shape, hinting at geometric fields harnessing subtle forces. These echo Giza's acoustics, 110 Hz resonances inducing trances, persistent despite echo chamber explanations, as 2025 biofeedback tests confirm brainwave shifts unattributable to mere sound reflection. Balance demands acknowledging evidence versus speculation. Carbon dating links worker villages to Khufu, But anomalies like water erosion, 7000 BCE, persist unanswered. Debunkers cite groundwater, yet shocks models show rainfall patterns irrefutable. Ramps explain logistics, but not precision. Copper tools cut soft stone, but not granite's tolerances. Mysteries endure because evidence accumulates faster than dismissals. 2025 muon voids, magnetic anomalies, whistleblower leaks, all defying tidy boxes. Speculation fills gaps. Atlantean inheritance, alien aid, but persistence lies in unanswered questions. Why no inscriptions in the pyramid, unlike every tomb? Why alignments with 10,500 BCE stars? Debunkers' fallacies appeals to authority. Ignoring outliers fuel this. Lena's ramps ignore quarry distances. Hawas's denials overlook psychic correlations with scans. Why persist? Because anomalies like razor sharpening or time slips demand inquiry, balancing skepticism with wonder. Evidence mounts. Global parallels like Göbekli Tepe's undebunkable age, Yonaguni's formations resisting natural labels. In 2025, revelations cascade. AI analyses of anomalies predict patterns debunkers can't. Whistleblowers' forums buzz with suppressed photos of glowing voids. Mysteries persist. Debunkings falter, truth's endurance mocks the veil. But persistence's roots run deeper. Counter-arguments like human ingenuity ignore workforce logistics. 20 years for 2.3 million blocks means one every 2 minutes. Non-stop, defying nutrition and rest in desert heat. Speculation? Perhaps. But evidence of quarries shows unexplained efficiency. Whistleblowers' 2025 surge. A Cairo insider leaks void audio chants echoing without source. Dismissed as wind, yet spectral analysis reveals non-natural harmonics. Pyramid phenomena. 2025 experiments preserve organs in models. Debunked as dehydration, but controls fail. Persistence, proving geometric power. Balance, evidence, erosion, alignments, versus speculation, anti-gravity. Mysteries endure as debunkers' models crack under new data. Why persist? Anomalies accumulate. Global echoes reinforce debunking's temporary, truth eternal. The unraveling continues. Debunkers debunked. Mysteries triumphant in persistence's glow. Expanding further, ramps shortfalls. Internal models require foresight impossible without CAD. External leave debris absent from scans. Copper tools. 2025 recreations fail on diorite, yet pyramid has its persistent gap. Carbon dating. Samples from mortar, but core blocks undated. Anomalies like older wood persisting. Whistleblowers. 2025 anonymous app drops. Void videos, lights flickering without source. Debunked as CGI, but metadata verifies. Razor sharpening. Quantum field theories in 2025. Speculate. Pyramid shapes. Focus. Vacuum energy. Persistent despite myth labels. Mysteries persist. Evidence's weight crushes debunkings. Speculation bridging to truth. Global anomalies. Baalbek's undraggable stones. Yonaguni's unerosionable forms. Persistent parallels mocking local explanations. Balance tilts. Evidence persistent. Speculation fuel. Why endure? Because truth whispers louder than denials. The debunkers falter. Mysteries march on persistent, unyielding, eternal. As question linger, persistence's flame burns bright mysteries beyond debunking. The enigma's endurance. Anomalies like acoustic healing in pyramids. Persistent despite placebo claims. Whistleblower tales. Suppressed finds of crystalline tools. Debunked as fakes. Yet labs confirm ancient alloys. Why persist? Because the world echoes Giza's call. Mysteries global. Debunkings local. The revelations persist, embrace, or deny. They endure. Close your eyes. Let the whispers carry you. And remember, if these questions haunt your dreams, hit subscribe to join us for the revelations yet to come. What if, in the eternal hush of the Great Pyramid's inner sanctum, where the very stones seem to breathe with the accumulated wisdom of vanished epochs, suddenly awakening in a cascade of holographic light that projects visions of cataclysms yet to come. Floods swallowing cities and stars realigning in apocalyptic fury, a final revelation surges forth, transforming the monument from silent sentinel to an indestructible repository, a shape that memory itself forgot, designed not to mourn the past, but to arm the future against oblivion. Imagine standing there as the visions unfold, cycles of rise and fall repeating every 25,920 years, our modern world teetering on the brink of a procession. Timed cataclysm pole shifts by 2040, solar storms blacking out grids, seas rising as they did 12,000 years ago, warnings encoded in the pyramid's geometry, pi and phi as lifelines for rebuilding after the deluge, a reset button for humanity etched in limestone to ensure we remember how to begin anew. And what if this repository, pulsing with eternal truths, was crafted by a lost civilization, Atlantean survivors, or starfaring elders who foresaw our era's hubris, embedding prophetic alerts in the structure's silent form, alerts that 2025's escalating anomalies, geomagnetic flips aligning with ancient codes, are desperately trying to awaken before it's too late? Could the pyramid's shape, defying forgetting through its unyielding math, be our ultimate salvation, a vault where silence holds the key to eternity? The visions crescendo. If this repository endures for future generations amid our impending fall, why the call to awaken its hidden truths now? And what cosmic reset awaits if we ignore its eternal whisper? Hold that prophetic pulse, for the shape is remembering, unveiling a repository that spans infinity. This profound culmination, where the pyramid emerges as the shape that memory forgot, a timeless repository safeguarding knowledge for eternity, weaves together the threads of our journey, synthesizing revelations from Giza's enigmas into a tapestry of enduring wisdom, a monument built not for the glory of kings, but as a beacon through the cycles of human forgetting and rediscovery. From the Sphinx's water-scarred gaze, eroded by rains 7,000 years before pharaohs dreamed of empires, to the mathematical codes defying time with pi, phi, and precession's eternal waltz. From the pyramid's emptiness transcending tombs to house resonances and anti-gravity whispers, from Stelae portraying restorers, honoring elder gods, to underground networks pulsing with flooded secrets and Nile-linked transports, from the burned scrolls' prelingual echoes amid geological shifts, to global echoes in Göbekli Tepe's pillars, and Baalbek's monoliths forming a planetary grid, from psychic visions bridging to hidden voids with temporal anomalies, to debunkings crumbling under persistent evidence, we arrive at the heart. Giza as an archive from a lost civilization, perhaps Atlantis or otherworldly architects, its form enduring to reset humanity amid inevitable falls. The pyramid's silence, profound and purposeful, embodies this repository, a shape crafted to outlast memory's erosion, where geometry speaks when words fail. Its dimensions, encoding universal constants, serve as a curriculum for survivors. Pi to redraw circles after floods wash away knowledge, phi for harmonious rebuilding in shattered worlds, Earth's measurements to remap a ravaged planet. This isn't speculation. The precession factor of 43,200 scales the structure to cosmic proportions, a deliberate design to bridge microcosm and macrocosm, ensuring truths persist through cataclysms. The lost civilization, whether Atlantean refugees fleeing sinking isles or elders from Orion's embrace, foresaw cycles, humid periods yielding to deserts, empires rising only to crumble, knowledge blooming then withering in amnesia. They built the pyramid as a vault for eternity, its capstone absent as a symbol of unfinished work, humanity's ongoing quest to remember. Prophetic warnings embedded in this shape add urgency, alerts for modern cataclysms that mirror ancient falls. In 2025, as geomagnetic storms intensify, solar flares disrupting grids, auroras dipping to equatorial skies, the pyramid's codes resonate. Precession's great year warning of pole shifts by 2040, magnetic reversals flipping north to south as they did 780,000 years ago, but accelerated by our era's hubris, climate tampering, resource plunder echoing Atlantis's downfall. Visions from psychic sessions align, halls beneath the Sphinx projecting holograms of future floods, seas claiming coasts as in 9600 BCE, the pyramid's math predicting these with eerie precision, its height scaled forecasting solar maximums in 2030 that could black out civilizations. These aren't doomsday fancies. NASA data in 2025 shows solar activity spiking, aligning with the pyramid's 25,920-year cycle, a prophetic clock ticking toward reset. The builders, witnessing their world's end monsoons failing, lands drying, encoded these to awaken us. The shape a mnemonic device against forgetting, urging preparation for the deluge. The call to awaken hidden truths resounds through this repository, a summons for our time when anomalies multiply. Underground voids humming during equinoxes, global grids activating with ley line surges, psychic echoes, bleeding temporal warnings. The pyramid's silence isn't emptiness, but a presence, a weight challenging us to question beyond conspiracies of gatekeepers, beyond debunking's frail walls. It whispers, remember the Elder's inheritance, the Restorer's humility in Stelae, the burned scrolls' prelingual genesis, the UFO visitations as echoes of creators returning. Awaken, for the shape forgot by memory holds eternity's key, a repository where geometry defies decay, resetting us amid cycles of rise and fall. In this final reflection, the pyramid stands as the ultimate mystery, its silence, a profound challenge urging listeners to dream of truths unveiled, to question the veils, and awaken the repository's light before the cycle claims us anew. But let's weave the synthesis tighter, drawing each revelation into the eternal fold. The Sphinx's gaze, guardian of forgotten eras with its magnetic anomalies and psychic portals, reminds us the repository begins in silence. Erosion scars prophetic of floods to come 2025's rising seas, mirroring 7000 BCE rains, a cycle the shape encodes to endure. Mathematical codes, defying time with pi's infinity and phi's growth, form the repository's language universal, unchanging, a blueprint for rebuilding after solar cataclysms prophesied in their scales, 43,200 whispering of precession's wheel, turning toward 2040's shifts. Beyond a tomb, the pyramid's purpose as resonance machine and anti-gravity lab pulses in voids, experiments in eternity acoustics at 110 Hz inducing visions of futures, anti-gravity fields lifting us from cyclical graves, a repository for transcending death's grasp. Restorers in Stelae Khufu and Thutmo's honoring elders reveal inheritance, the shape a gift from pre-pharaonic gods, prophetic warnings in their reverence for Isis's magic, foretelling matriarchal revivals amid patriarchal falls. Underground networks, with flooded shafts and Nile-linked transports, form the repository's vaults chambers, preserving whispers from before language, artifacts enduring geological upheavals like 4000 BCE shifts, prophetic of our climate reckonings. The burned scrolls' ashes echo this, prelingual beacons as eternal archives, fires of suppression, warning of elites burning truths to delay the reset, global echoes Göbekli's pillars, Stonehenge's circles, Baalbek's monoliths extend the repository worldwide, a grid of shapes forgetting memory, ley lines carrying prophetic pulses for unified awakening, anomalies persisting against debunking's tide. Psychic visions into hidden voids bridge modern revelations, temporal anomalies as prophetic glimpses, time slips warning of parallel falls, Casey's Hall activating in 2025 storms, the shape's eternity unfolding in mind's eye. Debunking the Debunkers exposes why mysteries persist. Ramps and tools falter against evidence's weight. Whistleblowers' leaks, prophetic of truths elites hide. The repository's persistence a call to awaken amid denials. This synthesis crowns the journey. Giza, as repository for eternity. Shape that memory forgot geometry enduring cycles. Prophetic warnings for our cataclysms. Urging awakening to hidden truths. Dream of this shape. Seekers question its silence, embrace its whisper, for in forgetting's shadow lies remembrance's light. As visions fade into night's embrace, the repository stands eternal, a beacon through oblivion's storms. Let its shape linger in your dreams, a call to awaken the forgotten, to question the veiled, and reclaim the whispers of infinity. The mysteries converge in this final form repository of shapes defying memory, eternal vault where past guards future. Awaken, or let cycles repeat the choice echoes in the silence. But the call resounds, prophetic encodings for modern woes, procession aligning with 2030's flares, voids humming warnings of floods reclaiming coasts, the shape a manual for survival, its geometry a prayer against forgetting. Hidden truths await awakening, in Stelae's reverence, void's pulses, global grids, the repository's light pierces darkness, urging us to dream boldly, question deeply, and remember the shape that holds eternity. The journey ends, but the shape endures memory forgot, yet never lost. Welcome, seekers of the unknown, to Mystery History for Sleep. I'm Mr. H, your guide through the shadows of the past, where truths lie buried beneath sand and silence. Tonight, we conclude our epic journey with the shape memory forgot, a repository for eternity, the 15th and final layer in our pyramid of mysteries. Close your eyes, let the whispers carry you into slumber, and remember, if these revelations stir your soul, hit subscribe to dream with us again in future explorations of the unknown. Good night, seek as the shape awaits in your dreams.